her attorneys were really brilliant. They didn't sue just Diddy. They sued his corporations.
They sure did.
And they sued his corporations and sued in her capacity as an employee. When you do that, it triggers commercial liability insurance.
Yeah.
And it triggers another policy called directors and officers. Okay. And we know he's a director of these companies as the CEO. So now you got two policies. What happens then is it takes away Puffy's ability to settle. It's not his choice no more.
So it's no longer personal accountability. It's his organization.
It's his organization. And it's no different than like if you hit somebody with your car.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you have State Farm. State Farm gets to decide to settle, not you. You could say, I didn't run the stop sign. That's not true. They're lying. If State Farm says, we don't care, we did our investigation, we're settling. That's it. That's what happened here. So because they added those claims, the corporate insurance carrier got to say, read over it and say, oh, hell no, we giving her the money.
We're hearing you. Diddy's public reputation is done.
It's done.
Yeah.
And if he wants to be able to leave anything to his children, he needs to walk away from all of these corporations.
Damn, he can no longer be the head of his corporations.
Well, remember, didn't I say directors and officers liability?
Yeah.
More than likely, what will happen is those insurance companies, they have the ability to say, we won't renew your policy if he continues to be a director or officer.
Here. All right, guys, come on in here. We are taking up with trial day. I believe this is day 7 of the Diddy trial. They have gotten started. Let me know where you're viewing us from. Good morning, all. Yes, please. Let's support with the like. So here's what you missed. Now they say, what did I miss? You have only missed, we still got David James on the stand. And let me tell you why David James's testimony is so important. Come on in here, hit that like and hit the subscribe as you do. David James is one of Diddy's assistants. I'm going to put his picture back up from the other day. He is one of Diddy's assistants. He, let's see, here we go. Oh, my cereal was good. I think, what the hell? What the hell? Where did the picture of David go? Anyway, I'll find it again. But David James is one of Diddy's assistants. He worked from 2007 to 2009 for Diddy. He would work literally 20-hour days, only got paid $20K a year. And the significance of him is he was subpoenaed. He is a very neutral witness. He's not super in favor of the prosecution or the defense. He just wants to get his testimony over with. And what's important is what I like to do is before each witness kind of completes their testimony, get an idea. I like to think in my head, what is probably the purpose of their testimony. So it seems with this guy, he's going to testify to how the whole enterprise operated. Yesterday on the channel, we talked about the whole issue that many of you guys had with the fact that this is a one-man enterprise. And what you guys clarified was, you don't mean one man as in only one person doing the things, right? Because we see Diddy is instructing his staff to do stuff. But what some people complained their concern is that Diddy's the only one on trial that they see here. So we're going to hear more from David James today. I'm going to put his, there we go. I'm going to put his picture back up. Had a good little picture of him too. Oh, I had a good one of him yesterday. I'll find it while he's on the, oh Lord, this is him today. Oh man, he likes some carbs, y'all. Here you go, bless his heart. Them carbs are getting to him. But I mean, it's also been like 20 years. So we're all fatter. Me for sure. Shoot, back then I was like 120 pounds, honey. I done got a good extra 20 on me. How much bigger are y'all from, oh shoot, I'm showing y'all all my business. Anyway, how much bigger are y'all than y'all were in high school? Here we go. Let's start with David James. Oh, this is what I wanted. Yeah, you see David there. Yeah, we're all fatter than high school. Come on. Good evening from Germany. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So we've got David James is on the stand now. Nadia says she can't wait to hear James Cruz. Me either. Oh, yes. And thank you, everyone. Hit that subscribe as you come in. We have reached 50,000 subscribers, y'all. It has taken me some years, but we are here now. let's get up in this tea. I'm your legal bestie, Attorney Simone. I break down celebrity legal drama both on social media and this YouTube channel, which is called Girl, Is That Legal? I've been doing this for about 17 years. I am a personal injury attorney. I represent plaintiffs against the big guys, whether it's big corporations, Uber, Lyft. I was even one of the first attorney. I was the first attorney to sue R. Kelly in civil court for his actions that ultimately led to his RICO trial. So that's why with me, you get legal breakdowns and you get nonsense and sidebars, because I have a problem with telling too much of my business as well. So here we go. We started court today. Before the jurors came in, the judge says, we opposed David James testifying about the incident with Suge Knight. He's going to mention D-Rock, say he was a friend of Biggie Smalls. That was decades ago, and it's not relevant. The judge seems that you're previewing your cross-examination. Now, mind you, they're saying this before the jury comes in, so the jury's not going to be tainted by the back and forth argument. That's interesting. They're saying, the defense is saying they don't want David James to testify about the incident with Suge Knight. But here's the thing. They've already discussed the incident with Suge Knight. Thank you, Shea Butter. I really appreciate you. Y'all right. They already discussed the incident with Suge Knight. Not only did they already discuss it, which I feel opens the door, is that they tried to use the Suge Knight incident to discredit Cassie, because Cassie talked about, she gave some version where the gist of it is she was at home or whatever with Diddy. I don't know, home, hotel, whatever. They were told Suge was at Mel's diner. Diddy then says, get the goods, get the goods, get the gat. I don't know if they called it a gat back then, but get the gat. And then Cassie's like, no, Diddy, don't go. No. And Diddy went anyway. And I guess D-Rock was there by himself, or I'm not exactly sure what's happened, but they get up there and it ends up being no confrontation with Suge Knight. But the story was kind of looping in his absolute positive disdain for Suge Knight. Well, then on cross-examination, Diddy's attorneys tried to make Cassie out to be a liar, saying, well, didn't you say which she might be, I don't know, it's your decision. You guys are the jury. I call y'all my jury. They were trying to say, well, didn't you say you rode with him? You told the prosecutors that you rolled with him. She's like, no, I don't think I said that. It went back and forth. The truth of the matter is nobody cares whether she went with him or not. I think the point of the story was to solidify how much they hate each other. They as in Diddy and Suge. So it's interesting that now the defense does not want to rehash or reinforce the Suge Knight issue. Also, hey guys, for those of us, because we had a good little discussion about this. Hold on. About Suge Knight. Hold on. I was thinking about what's a good example that I can give you guys. I was thinking about what's a good example if I can give you guys of a situation where one person was charged with an offense, even though they were part of a RICO's type of organization. And of course, there is the R. Kelly example. R. Kelly was charged. They used all of his workers that executed his dirty work as witnesses to get to Kelly. But I think Suge Knight is also a good example. Is there anybody in the chat who would disagree that if a RICO charge was brought against Suge, that you would think Suge wasn't in some way running an enterprise, right, that committed crimes? I don't think anybody that has known of Suge over the years would disagree that Suge could absolutely be defined as running an enterprise that was committing crimes, but also navigating the music industry. Well, if a court decided that they only wanted to prosecute Suge, they could do that. They could do that. And it doesn't mean it's a one-man RICO. It just means that they evaluated the witnesses and the value of the testimony and decided that it is better to have this person as a witness than a co-defendant. Because as a co-defendant, they're not going to say nothing. In fact, as a co-defendant, they don't get on the stand. Majority of defendants don't ever take the stand. So the way you got to get there sometimes to the ringleader is turning a co-defendant into a witness. All right, let's keep going with this Suge Knight discussion. It says, the judge says, witness or personal assistant David James comes back to the stand. The judge says, good morning, welcome back. We are missing 4 jurors. Might be the subways. All right. The judge says, okay, we'll reconvene. They give him a little break. Okay, breaky break. They're back. The prosecutor. And of course, at this point, the jurors are back. Prosecutor. What about physical violence between Mr. Combs and Cassie? Did you previously observe it? James says, nope, I did not. And hold on, let me just check something real quick on the channel as we keep going. Let me check this as we keep going. Hold on, I got to make sure my settings are right so we can get this tea, y'all, and get all caught up. These people got going on today. I knew that was going to be a problem. Yeah, there we go. So she says, did you ever see any physical violence between Mr. Combs and Cassie? Did you personally observe it? He said, no, I did not. Now that's interesting, y'all, because yesterday he testified to an exchange between him and Cassie where Cassie said something like, man, this life is crazy. And his response was, why don't you leave? And she said, I can't. He controls my life. So he said, no, I didn't. Prosecutor, do you remember a blog post? Yes. I was in LA when he came back from a club. What did Mr. Combs say? That someone was lying on him, saying he hit Cassie at the club. He went through my browser history. Damn. That man is, what's that word? Where you always, like schizophrenic people, where you always think somebody, is trying to come after you. Oh my gosh. Y'all know what I mean. Yeah, like the stream, y'all, like the stream. All right, he says that someone was lying on him, saying he hit Cassie at the club. He went through my browser history. No one had ever done that to me. Did Mr. Combs give you instructions about Cassie to bring her food at the London hotel? Some Roscoe's? What is Roscoe? Oh, sorry. Did Mr. Combs give you instructions about Cassie? He said to bring her food at the London hotel. Some Roscoe's. She says, what's Roscoe's? Some delicious fried chicken in LA. That was nice of him to say. It's a soul food restaurant where some paranoid. Thank you. Paranoid. It's delicious soul food where sometimes if you go there, you might get shot. I actually think they've recently closed, unfortunately, because, oh boy, the one rapper, he recently was unalive there. It said, did Mr. Combs, it says, what did you do for Mr. Combs in New York? Now, hold on. The Roscoe's incident, I believe part of the relevance there is the reason he had to bring Cassie food is this was after he knocked her upside the head a few times and she was very visibly bruised, and he sent her to a hotel and told her, don't come out until your bruises are healed, because he wanted that to die down. Got it. Yeah, it has started. The trial has started for this morning. Oh, somebody says, okay, white folks bought Roscoe's. Well, I hope they paid what it was worth so that family can go on and retire. It says, what did you do for Mr. Combs in New York? I bring him applesauce, Jell-O, Fiji water, his toiletry bag with ointments, just for men. Oh, the hair stuff. I love just for men. Next time I get a boy, I want a boyfriend with hair, y'all. If y'all have any uncles or brothers or cousins that are single, I'm a really nice lady. And my eggs are in the fridge if they want a kid. They're there. Anyway, but I would like somebody with hair or who's open to going back to Turkey with me. I have a really good surgeon over there. That's another story for another day. He says, just for men, we bought 40 items so he wouldn't call us later. I'd get a key like at the Trump International. Oh, great plug to Trump International, because we know who wants a pardon. David James said, I'd set up the medicine bag in the personal LV bag. What was in it? A Viagra, X, perks. How did you go about replenishing these supplies? I'd use my personal credit card. Bad boy paid me back. Who paid you back? Usually bonds. Okay, you would use your personal credit card to buy this guy's substances. I'm just trying to think about my life back in 07 and 09. I'm such a scaredy cat. And I always wanted to be a lawyer, y'all, since I was like 6 years old. Once I found out that lawyers didn't have to clean their rooms because they were rich enough to hire housekeepers, I was like, oh, bet I'm in that thing. But I just, wow, I don't think in my first job, I don't care who I'm working for, that I would have the chutzpah, gall, naivete, I don't know what word, to buy substances for my boss. I don't give a fart who that boss is. I'm going to jail for your ass. I'm sorry, behind. He said, I'd use my personal credit card. Bad boy paid me back. Who paid you back? Usually bonds. Did Mr. Combs ever stay alone in a hotel? Never. Usually Cassie, sometimes other women. Now I see why it was usually Cassie, because Kim was over there raising them kids. Kim was busy. She said, go get one of your little sluts to do it. All right. He said, did he ask you for things during a stay? He texted me for an iPod or food. Yes, iPod, not pad. They didn't have iPads back then, y'all. That's how far back this is going. Y'all, this is over 10 years ago. He said, did anything strange ever happen? Yes. In Miami, he asked for an iPod from his house on Star Island. I drove it to his hotel and knocked. No answer. I had the key. Because I'd set up the room. What did you see? Cassie on the bed. There was another person who sort of scurried away like a mouse. Scurried away. And the shower was on. I thought Mr. Combs was in there. How was she sleeping? On her back. Objection. Sustained. Why would you object to that? Objection. Sustained. She was sleeping on her back. What? Why can't you tell us what position she was sleeping? Like, because probably the relevance is if she's on her back, you can see her face to know this is in fact Cassie and you're not mistaken. It says, what about the other person? He was about 5'8" with long hair and a large endowment. He scurried away. Uh-oh, a S worker. You seen a scurrying S worker. Ooh, he scurried away. Let me see. When he scurried, did the dick go with it? Did it do the little ding dong like a grandfather clock? Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Did you ask anything? The prosecutor said. He says, I wasn't hired to ask about their personal affairs. Woo! That is a good worker. Where is my gavel? Here we go. I forgot my gavel, y'all. I found it. Good job. That's good. That's why he was getting paid the $70,000 for 20 hours a day. All right. I said, did you ever pick up substances from Mr. Combs? Yes. Perks at a pharmacy. Sometimes in my name. Oh, that's illegal. That's illegal. So we've got another RICO. We've got another RICO underlying offense. Remember, one of them was distribution of substances. You can't. Here's the thing. You cannot get substances in other people's name. Now you can have an alias. I went to rehab with somebody famous, and they used to use an alias. So that when they went down to the little CVS and they get whatever it is, their Suboxone, or I don't know, you don't get Suboxone from a CVS, but whatever it is, like let's say they had an STD because she was kind of nasty. She was a whore. Then whatever antibiotics to clear whatever she would do, she would get them in an alias. And how aliases works, and if there's anybody in the chat that works for a medical provider, you can clarify. But with aliases, that's between you and your doctor. So you can tell because your doctor knows your real stuff, right? Your doctor knows your real name, date of birth. But if he wants to be Frank Black on his gonorrhea medication, well, he can do that. You can be Frank Black on your gonorrhea medication. But what you can't do is get your medication in someone else's name, especially if it's a controlled substance. That is wholly illegal. If it's a controlled substance, that's distribution of narcotics. This was in the years of 2007 and 2009, y'all. All right, here we go. He said, they said, did you give him permission to use your name? He said, I don't recall that. See, as a prosecutor, I would have tried to hammer that. Wouldn't you recall if you had done that? Wouldn't you have recalled that? It has to be very clear. No, I didn't give him permission. She said, was there a substance dealer? He said, yes, one stop. Now, see, that is confirming what Don talked about yesterday, but what Nicole Westmoreland on Cross slaughtered her on. Because on Cross yesterday, Don had talked about to the prosecutor that, yes, One Stop was the one that provided everything. And then on Cross, they clarified that she had never seen One Stop give nobody, like hand anybody a specific substance. It was just that she was told or knew, however she knew, that One Stop was the dealer. So now he is confirming and corroborating what Don testified to yesterday. Prosecutor, was there a substance dealer? Yes. One Stop. He met with a lot of people? Yes. He is in Diddy. Even former presidents. Which one? Malia and Sasha's daddy. Okay. Hold on. let me just tell you, here's the relevance of that, and here's why. Y'all not putting my Presidente, you're not putting him all up in this. If you don't, this was 07 to 09. This was when he was trying to be elected as the first Black one. And there was always been a strong vote or die campaign, vote or die, vote or die. So it would make sense that during that time frame, he would have met with the candidates. He's met with Hillary. He's met with all of the above. Hell, he's partied with Trump. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say that name because I don't want it to mess with the monetization. Anyway, what was your understanding of what would have happened if you had not done these things? Objection, sustained. That question is critical because that's the question that's bringing together the enterprise and how the enterprise means and modes of operation. Remember, this is how we do it. This is how we do it is what they're trying to bring together. Did you ever take X? Yes. I was drinking Ciroc. I took X. Oh, that's interesting. I was wondering if he was going to say I was drinking Ciroc and it was up in there. But no, he's saying I was drinking Ciroc. I took some X and I was Diddy bopping. Ow. Ow. What do you mean? I was vibing. No, mind you, hold on. Mind you, this is what this big old boy looked like. Hold on, I'm going to put it big on the screen. Bless his little heart. Bless his little chubby heart. I like chubby people. First of all, I need more fat friends, actually. Oh, y'all on that damn Zepic. I need more fat friends. So if you're in the chat and you're a bigger person, because y'all know the better places to eat first and foremost. Here, let me remember, guys, this is what he looks like. So he was vibing. I just think that's just adorable. He was vibing. Okay. The little chubster was vibing. All right. So he says he was drinking the Ciroc, took the X, and he was Diddy bopping. He was vibing. Did you speak with Mr. Combs about it? He was reviewing footage of the party. We had a videographer who filmed the parties. He asked me, he said, "Hey, Playboy, what was that? You was dancing around at the party?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm going to keep the video in case I ever need it." Meaning that I'd be embarrassed. Mode and means of operation for Diddy. He would keep humiliating footage of people to later use to embarrass them. Now, here's the thing. Him being a goofy dancer isn't embarrassing. But him taking substances is a problem. That's a real problem. And we're talking about a young man who just graduated college, right? You got the world at your fingertips, or you don't. If your employer takes footage of you supposed to be a personal assistant and you out here taking substances, oh, we're going to have a whole problem. You see where they're going with that. All right. It says, could you have said no? Objection. Judge, move on. That actually would be important. Could you have said no? The problem is it could be considered speculation or one of the other objections. It says, did you ever have to take a lie detector test? Yes. Who was present? Just me and this gentleman. It was very intimidating. They put monitors on my head, my chest, and my hands. Could you refuse? Not to keep my job. So then, yes, you could refuse, but that is not forced labor. We're not looking at forced labor here, guys. It said, did this happen again? Yes, when Mr. Combs said a watch of his had been stolen. Now, mind you, we already know Mr. Combs is paranoid and do a lot of drugs. Now, one thing I learned, because I have a friend who do a lot of drugs, and then I used to do too much Adderall. I learned that if you do too much Adderall, it makes you act crazy. But also powder makes you paranoid. It makes you really, really angry and hype and makes you feel like you can beat everyone up. And so it wouldn't be surprising that he may have just simply misplaced something, but thought someone was stealing from him with the substance issues that he had. Remember, in 2012, he OD'd. He is in Diddy. He said, did this happen again? Yes, when Mr. Combs said a watch of his had been stolen. What was the result? The gentleman told me I seemed nervous. I said, sure I am. Once, Capricorn Clark had to take a lie detector to prove that she wasn't part of a heist of Mr. Combs' jewelry. Man, I cannot wait for Capricorn to get on that stand. Capricorn girl, get up there. It says, was there an incident at Mel's Diner with Suge Knight? Yes. I drove the Silver Navigator to get cheeseburgers there. What? They put the white boy in the middle of that. He's not prepared for that. He just got his cap and gown. He just walked across the stage. And you get this boy wrapped up dealing with oh, bless his little heart. Get out of there, boy. Come on, David. Let's see. Oh, no. David said, yes. I drove the Silver Navy to get cheeseburgers there. D-Rock said, and it's my understanding D-Rock may be deceased now. I don't know. It said, D-Rock said, that MF'er Suge Knight. He went over and said, what's up? Suge didn't recognize him. D-Rock said, I'm Biggie's boy. What happened next? We noticed 4 SUVs to different sides of the parking lot. I saw someone hand Suge a pow pow. D-Rock said, we got to get out of here. So we drove back to the house. What did you find there? Cassie was crying. Mr. Combs got in the vehicle. I saw 3 pow pows on his lap. So you still driving these people around? No, my Caucasian comrade. This is where you get out the car and you just run. You just run away and you find a payphone because they had them back then. They had payphones, y'all, in 2008. Because one time I used it. I was on a really terrible date. I was on a real bad day. And I only knew 1 phone number. Well, I knew like 3 phone numbers. And I had to call my brother to come and get me. I was the Red Roof Inn. That's what I should have known. How dare I let that boy take me to Red Roof Inn? I should have known that night was going to end terribly. That was around about 2008. Yeah. All right. It says, I saw someone hand Suge Knight a pow pow. D-Rock said, we got to get out of there. We drove back to the house. What did you see there? Cassie was crying. Mr. Combs got in the vehicle. I saw 3 pow pows on his lap. I felt calm because we'd been in a silver vehicle. Now we're in a black one. They wouldn't see us coming. They wouldn't see us coming. Sir, you are not equipped to be a driver of a shootout, of a hip hop shootout. That is not what you were equipped for, David. What was your degree in sociology? This ain't it. The prosecutor says, what did you find at Mel's Diner? Suge Knight had left. Mr. Combs said, drive around the back. Oh, he said, drive around the block. What did you decide? To leave the company. Good. Okay, David, you was about to die now. And you know good and well, they wasn't going to give you no life insurance. Your parents just going to have to do without. Your parents would have been stuck with your student loans too. How unkind would that have been, David? Get on out of there. It said, what did you decide? To leave the company. They offered me other positions, but I just wanted to leave. My life was at risk. Yes, I'm glad that you're seeing this. It was, David. We want you to be all right, David. I bet you're over there selling somebody life insurance. Just cold calling them. Now, that's so safe. It's so much better and more lucrative. I'm sure you make more per hour doing that versus 20 hours a day, $70K a year. No further questions. The defense. You didn't tell all this the first time. That's what they always start with. You know, they always start with that. But come on, like any jury is going to know, like, dude, this was 15 years ago. Of course, they're going to remember more as they think about it more. David said, they told me to stop, to not say anything that would incriminate me. Okay. This is what he's talking about. Yes. Okay. So I had multiple people who were subpoenaed in this case. They were subpoenaed for the grand jury, contact me to ask me to represent them. And it was because they were concerned. Everyone that contacted me had some type of play within this case, right? And the reason they were being contacted is whether they were an S worker or former employees, something like that. So what he's simply referring to is when he went and told his version of the facts to the prosecutors, he came with his own lawyer. So it was his lawyer that told him to stop. It wasn't the prosecutors, because what happens is you do a proffer, which means they say, hey, basically, whatever you tell us, we'll not use against you, but you got to tell us the truth and tell us everything you know. From this, we'll decide, are we going to treat you like a witness or co-defendant or co-conspirator? It says, look at the notes from your interview. Read it to yourself, then back at me. Okay. How'd you recognize Suge Knight? I listen to hip hop. Were you drinking or smoking pot? No, sir. Your mind was clear. As clear as it could be, working 20 hours a week at 4 a.m. Get him, David. Get him, David. That's a good answer. D-Rock opens the door. Agnifilo says, D-Rock opens the door. Suge Knight is a few cars over. Window was open, he says. All right. Hold on. Let's see if you got anything new. All right. Window is open. And he said, D-Rock says, hold on. He does have student loans, y'all. Wasn't he a baller in college? No, this is not the guy who was the baller. The baller is a drug mule who looks like he stinks. Hold on one second. There more tweets are coming up. Hold on, I'm gonna show you the drug mule. Brendan Paul. Here you go. Here you go. Don't he look stinky? He looks like those stinky boys on campus that even in the wintertime would wear a hoodie, shorts, and open-toed sandals, like the Doc Martens or the Birkenstocks. Yes, he looks very stinky. That is the baller. All right, back to business, guys. Now he says, D-Rock says, I'm Biggie's boy. And then Suge recognizes him, gives him a dap. What's a dab? A handshake. Did you leave D-Rock at the diner? Why are you smiling? Because that's a crazy question. Why would I? In other words, sir, what is you talking about? You sound stupid. You sound really stupid. That's what David James is trying to say in a very professional, I'm on the stand type of way. Defense says, didn't you leave D-Rock at the diner? Hold on. He says, didn't you leave D-Rock at the diner? That makes no sense. David said, that makes no sense. I'm not asking what makes sense. I'm asking you, did you? No, he said. You saw Cassie and Mr. Combs? Yes, Mr. Combs told me to drive. You don't know where Mr. Combs got the Pow Pows, do you? I didn't know we had Pow Pows until then. Have you ever been in a situation like that? No. And that's why he got his tail up out of there. He said, this is not what I signed up to. When I said can't stop, won't stop yesterday in my job interview, which he testified to, he said, can't stop, won't stop. And that's how he got the job. He didn't mean can't stop, won't stop crimes. He meant can't stop, won't stop supporting this music mogul in the industry. He didn't mean can't stop, won't stop going to jail for you. You can see that big old boy. Oh, also, y'all, he keep on crying. This boy couldn't go to jail. Way he's crying, he be all in that drunk tank, in that little intake tank, snot flying everywhere. He's not equipped for prison. It's not what he's there to do. It says, have you been in a situation like that? No. You didn't say, I don't want to drive to Suge Knight with guns. Okay. All right. Mr. Agnifilo, defense attorney, it might be time for you to retire with such a dumb question. Now, we all know on Cross, you only ask questions you know the answers to. And he's going to say, you didn't say I don't want to drive to Suge Knight with Pow Pows. Like, you could really tell Diddy that. Diddy would probably slap him in the face and be like, you pussy punk, whoop. I mean, no, I would have responded. James should have responded and said, you can't tell Diddy no to stuff like that. But he does say, instead, they proceed. And of course, this is usually verbatim, but he may have said that after the fact, which is, you didn't say. He said, I don't want to drive Suge Knight with guns. He said, no. What exactly did you do before you got this job? He said, I was a door-to-door salesman. Didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all this man sells stuff. Now, I said he probably sells you life insurance. I was going to say door-to-door, life insurance door-to-door. But I was right. My intuition, it's not just because I'm Creole. Okay, that makes me like maybe a little bit psychic, but I just have really good common sense. I know it doesn't always come off that way because my high-pitched voice sounds a little dingy. But it says, what did you do before this? I was a door-to-door salesman, then personal assistant. Now you were going with Pow Pows to confront someone? It was not ideal, he said. Well, duh. And that's why he quit after that. Then he says, you knew how to get to Mel's Diner, right? I frequent there all the time. You've never seen Pow Pows before, right? No. This is a radical departure from your job description. Is that an understatement? It's the understatement of the day so far, James said. Do you have immunity? David James, ask my lawyer. See? What did I tell you guys? He says, ask my lawyer. I have some kind of agreement. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Hold on. Sorry. I know I need to switch it. Okay. Here we go. Now you switch the screen. Here we go. Sorry. Here we go. My bad. I need you to see this. It says, big as day. This is a radical departure from your job description. Is that an understatement? It's the understatement of the day so far. Do you have immunity? Ask my lawyer. I have some kind of offer agreement. Proffer. Give me my flowers. I need an alarm. Can I have my flowers, guys? Can I have my put a flower in the chat, please? Yes, this show is for today's trial. Correct. This show is for today. Yeah, get the likes up, hit that subscribe. So yesterday, y'all, it switched. The screen is switched. Okay. So you see it now. It's this first text that's up here. Yesterday, y'all, we had a discussion on this channel about the fact that some people are like, I'm just not, I can't get with this one man RICO. Like, what is that? And yesterday, if you watch yesterday's afternoon show, I literally broke down and I busted down and I said, what makes you think it's one man? I said, other people have offers. What they do, they try the head honcho first. They're trying Diddy first. Because the only way they can get to Diddy is to give other people offers and say, if you get on the stand and you tell the truth at the Diddy trial, there may not be a trial for you or we'll go easy on you. One of the two. But you have to try Diddy first or you otherwise. One of the things Diddy's accused of is tampering with witnesses. Otherwise, when it comes to these other people's turns, so if you do if you do it in the other way, they're never going to, when it's their time to testify against Diddy, they're going to change their statements and there's nothing you can do about it. Right? Thank you. Thank you, Denise. So I just love it when I teach on the law, I tell on the law, and then the case breathes out what I said. So yeah, I've been saying. So for those people who are like, where is the RICO? It's because people who are testifying, and I said yesterday, I said, watch, you'll know who has an offer because the defendants are allowed to ask people on the stand, do you have an offer or do you have immunity? Because the jury is entitled to know that. That allows the jury to decide, all right, how much of this do I want to believe, right? Because I know there's people in the chat who are, Canadian POV. There's some people in the chat who are like on the Diddy side. And what I'm saying is it's important for jurors to know if people are speaking under an immunity deal, right? Because they're more likely to say something that's going to incriminate Diddy and not incriminate themselves. So we need to know that. That's also why I was saying Cassie is not under an immunity deal. We would have known that. That would have been the first question on cross-examination or the last question. It might have been the last question because they might have wanted to leave it in the minds. Thank you so much, Natalie. They would probably want to leave it in the minds of the jurors, be one of the last things that the jurors think about. So yes, okay, we're going to go back to it, but just know. So now when your friends talk about it's a one man RICO, you be like, no, it's not. These people have offers. Here's the other thing though. There could be people on let me see. If the defense doesn't ask that question, do you have immunity? If they don't ask that question, ain't nobody about to volunteer that information. So the only way the jury will know is if the defense asks them. Let's keep going. I'm going to put it big. I'll be small over here. Canadian POV says, that's how I feel about Gene. Hold on. Love you too, Don. Okay, TJ saying, I'm seeing the RICO. All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to get caught up on all the messages. And then we're going to look back over the RICO chart that I have to see if, based on anything we know so far, how we feel that they're moving along with the RICO. All right, so number one, do you have immunity? Ask my lawyer. I have some type of offer agreement, proffer. You didn't tell anyone about this, only my wife. Did you meet with the government this morning? Yes, briefly, about what might come up in cross. Hold on, I don't like that. I don't like that. As an attorney, well, number one, I'm so glad the defense asked about that. But I feel like when someone is sworn in and on the stand, you should not be coaching their testimony. Y'all tell me what you think in the chat. I'm not with it. Once they take that stand, What they say is what they say. Now, it's not what they did is not unlawful or unethical. I will clarify that. I just feel like when someone has been sworn, it's just like in a deposition. Like during a deposition, you're really not supposed to call a bathroom break and then coach your client through testimony. You're not supposed to do that. All right. But here, basically, hold on. Wait a minute. And actually, like, yeah, this morning, it wasn't even like the direct examination was done and they're talking to them like, okay, this is what to prepare for tomorrow. This morning, they still did some direct examination. I don't like that. But all right, let's keep going. All right. Did you meet with the government this morning? Yeah, briefly, about what might come up in Cross. Did Mel's Diner incident come up? Not that I recall. It's this morning. What did you talk about this morning? David says, your style. And he laughs. I'm dying to ask what they said, but I won't. It says CX for subscribers later. I'm a subscriber. It says, I have a few more mundane questions. He says, I love mundane questions. I'm telling you, what y'all think of David as a witness? I think he's a good witness because I don't feel he don't got, well, let me say this. I was about to say he doesn't have anything to gain. He was subpoenaed, but we now know he has a proffer. So technically he does have immunity. We're going to talk about that. Make a note. Let's speak to his immunity and what that might look like. All right. It says, I have a few more mundane questions. I love mundane questions. Where did you travel with Mr. Combs? Ibiza, London, Saint-Tropez? Were these vacations? Business oriented. What were you hired as? Personal liaison, but I was a personal assistant. He met a high level roster of people. He said, second understatement of the day. Or I guess he meant you met. The defense attorney is trying to tell him, so you met a high level roster of people. And he said, well, that's the second understatement of the day. He said, why? He met with a who's who. He says, defense is saying, it was important that he be prepared for these meetings, right? Yes. It was important that he be on time. No. It was important that he be on time. No, we change meetings to fit his schedule all the time when he didn't want to show up at a certain time. He had security because people wanted to touch him, right? Yes. In the airport, in McDonald's, was he gracious? I don't think gracious is a word I'd use for Sean Combs. Duh. Excuse me, sir. Have you ever met your client? Oh, wait. He was probably gracious with you, defense attorney, because you hold his freedom in your hands. You hold his freedom between your knuckles. Between your knuckles. He's probably really nice to you. Hell, I got killers that call me Miss Simone. Miss Simone. And I'm like, this is so nice. You call me Miss Simone. And you murdered three dogs, a cat, and an entire family. I'm very grateful. I'm scared. I used to represent inmates on death row. Don't do that anymore. He said, was he gracious? He says, I don't think gracious is a word I'd use for Sean Combs. Did he sign autographs? No. First of all, who still wants an autograph? Just get a picture. But also when he said he had security because people wanted to touch him, I think the defense is trying to get at, hey, the Pow Pows were not for nefarious purposes. The Pow Pows were for Diddy's own safety. All right. So we are caught up at this point. We got 4 minutes. Let's see what else. We got another one. I don't think gracious is a word I use to describe Combs. I don't think so either. The fact that they keep trying to paint. Oh, wow. The fact that they keep trying to paint him as like the nice guy. Cut it out. Which one is it, y'all? The defense in the opening, y'all sat up there and said he's not a nice guy. He has a bad temper. He stick with that on an as needed basis. Oh, Miss T said, yep, I was just watching an old clip from Method Man where he was saying Puff would never go out of his way to speak to anyone. No, that's believable. Y'all, I got a Jay-Z story. Okay, I was in college And I went to undergrad at the University of Pittsburgh. I'm from Oak Cliff, which is Dallas. I'm from Oak Cliff. And I went to University of Pittsburgh. And so like I always thought like New York was so cool. And I never been to New York or nothing. And that was on my list for my 21st birthday. My favorite comedian is Vanessa Mitchell. He was on Saturday Night Live at the time. So we went out there to New York. And I was like, oh, y'all, maybe we go to a Jay-Z party. And my homegirl in the dorm, Tiffany, y'all, we're waiting for more text messages to come through. So I don't want you to think I'm just not paying attention. Hold on. This is a sidebar. So my homegirl was like, I was like, oh, maybe we go to a Jay-Z party. She was like, oh, I don't like Jay-Z. I was like, why? What happened? She's like, oh my God, he was so mean to my friend. I was like, girl, what happened? And she was like, well, we were all at a club. This was like before 4040. I don't know that it had opened yet. Maybe it had. She was like, we were all at this club and Jay-Z was there. And like, we were in VIP and everything. And we were like, dancing. We're sitting around. We're sitting at his table and we're drinking the drinks. And then like, the club's fixing to close. And so, Jay-Z, he looks at us and he was like, so y'all fucking? Oh, sorry. He was like, so y'all effing? And the girl was like, what? No. He was like, well, what is your purpose? I was like, oh my God. So you mean he's a businessman? He gets right to the point. Just right to the point. I said, now why don't you like it? She's like, that was so rude. I was like, well, girl, he thought you were a whore. He thought you were a whore. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. The lights were up and so were you. That's all. You just, you were wearing the uniform and you were there. That's all. That's all. No problem. But I just remember just thinking, I was like, something's wrong with my brain. And my homegirl was like, what? And I was like, well, it's not like he knew you personally. Like he didn't know that you used to be in the National Honor Society. He didn't know you were a class president. I don't think he really cared. You were just like a slut and you were at the club and you were having a good time and drinking. He just wanted to know if that is, oh God. Hey, good girl. Oh, girl, we probably went together. I was 04 as well. Let me see. Girl, I was the vice president of the Black Action Society. I don't know if you remember. Yes. So it was like me, I was vice president, and Vanessa Jarrett, I was president. So we both went to University of Pittsburgh. Yep. I graduated in 04 with a finance degree. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. As we're waiting for more text messages, what's your name? You don't have to put your name in here if you don't want to, but and I used to live in Holand Hall. I lived in the all-girl dorm. We call it Holand because it was all girls, but it was Holland Hall. I loved Holand. Somebody said allegedly. Yeah, no. She wasn't really a slut. She just wore slutty clothes. But we all did. I would have like a whole entire Miami wardrobe. I had a friend, Aisha. She used to make her own clothes and she would take like a sliver of fabric and then she would just drape it over her boobs and put this like double stick tape. It was the most amazing thing. It was like, it would just stay. That's what I thought. I want somebody, I appreciated the Jay-Z asked and said, are you guys going to do it to me? You know what I'm saying? He was like, are you guys going to do it to me tonight? If not, what is your purpose? I think that's good because it could be like, oh, well, maybe guys, I'm going to go get the baby oil. Or maybe you're going to be like, well, I'll go get the fried chicken. Can someone give me the cash? I'm a useful friend. Yeah, Holand Hall. I was a useful friend because my other homegirl, I'm not going to say her name because she's a mother, but I used to always I would always have to find something to do while she was like in the room with the athletes. And I will never forget. It was terrible. Oh, I used to love him. Kalina Azubuki. Oh, he was so cute. She was like doing it to one of his teammates. And so I was like, do. And like, I guess they're like adjacent room. So we started jumping up. We would jump on the bed. We would do like backflips. I taught him how to do like a little, like you stand on the wall, like you do like a little headstand. It was the most ridiculous thing. I mean, I'm sure people were so confused. All right, here we go. Back to the baby oil and the sauce. All right, let's come back. Oops, sorry. Let's go back. Anyway, everybody should have a homegirl in their 20s. You don't really need one in your 40s and 30s. Not really, but your 20s for sure, because I got a lot of free food because of her and drinks. Hold on. All right, we are back. All right. So last he talked about is he had security because people wanted to touch him, right? Yes. In the airport and McDonald's, was he gracious? I don't think I'd ever use the word gracious for Sean Combs. Did he sign autographs? No. You said he'd stay in the studio until 3 or 4 a.m. and you'd stay with him. Yes. It was common. Daddy's house. Daddy's house, I actually went there, which is his studio. I was there for my 21st birthday. I had no idea. Whew. David James said, yeah, it was common. What sort of things would he want to always have with him? Ketchup, for example. Ooh, I carry lemon pepper. Yep, I carry lemon pepper and Splenda. Anyway, here's my Splenda. He said, did you know he put applesauce on cheeseburgers? No, but I knew he likes applesauce. In fact, earlier in testimony, he talked about setting up a room with applesauce. He liked Astroglide, condoms, and baby oil, but you didn't expense it through the business. Usually not. Hold on. Where in the hell? What are you getting at, defense attorney? What are you getting at? He liked Astroglide, condoms, and baby oil, but you didn't expense it through the business. Usually not. What are they? Y'all help me. What they getting at there? That's a little weird. Hit that subscribe. We got 2,500 here. Woo! Hit that like, y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Agnifilo isn't Agnifilo. That's what I'm gonna go with for the rest of the time. He's not giving his best work. Like I need to see it. I need to see it. Yeah, I don't understand the last statement either. Like, why would it matter whether or not they are expensing lube and baby oil through the business? I'm not sure. Oh, I see. Okay, Fuji TV is saying meaning it's not tied to a RICO. Oh, okay. Is that what he's trying to get to? I'm confused. But it doesn't have to be, hold on. Whether or not something is officially tied to your business isn't what makes it RICO. RICO is, so like a gang can be RICO. RICO is just a group of people that are operating for unlawful purposes or with unlawful purposes. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I'm just going to pull that up. What does prosecutor? Here we go. Let's see what else. What do we have here? Hold on. So they're trying to say because he didn't pay for it through the business, or maybe that's the implication. Now, let's see. Let's update this real quick. See if you've got any more. Yeah. Yeah. He just said he liked Astroglide, condoms, and baby oil too, but you didn't expense it through the business. All right, here we go. This is just a reminder, guys. To prove RICO against Diddy in the Diddy case, they have to prove a pattern of racketeering activity tied to an enterprise. So we already know that the enterprise is basically Diddy himself, right? It's literally Diddy has a business called Sean Combs Enterprises, and that Diddy either conducted or participated in, acquired an interest in, or used it to commit crimes. Now, the existence of an enterprise is any group or organization. They got to prove a group existed. That could be Diddy's businesses, his entourage, employees, and that it had a purpose, relationships, continuity. Here, the purpose was protecting Diddy's brand, fame, and image at all times. Example, Bad Boy, Sean John, or even a private network of co-conspirators could qualify if it was used to commit crimes. And by used to commit crimes, it could also do music. It could also do music. But what I just wanted to be clear on is the enterprise. We got the group because it's Diddy and the staff member, and then having the purpose. The purpose of all these funky things that were happening were to protect Diddy's brand and his image. For example, getting rid of the beatdown footage from the hotel, protecting his brand. If that beatdown footage got out, which now it's out, and now Diddy is what? He's done, right? Because it got out. He knew if that stuff got out, he'd be in big trouble. Here we go. We got some update now. All right. It says, you said he'd stay in the studio. What kind of things do you want? Ketchup. All right. Then he talked about the Astroglide. He liked Astroglide condoms and baby oil. But you didn't expense it through the business. Usually not. I was told he didn't want to run them through the company. He didn't want a record of them. Got him, coach. Got him, coach. When you bought the 8-ball of powder on Saint-Tropez, pronounced Saint-Tropez. Oh, God, he called it Saint-Tropez. Oh, my slow auntie used to say stuff like that, Saint-Tropez. He says, when you bought the 8-ball of powder on Saint-Tropez, you didn't tell Mr. Combs, did you? He was asleep. Oh, oh, oh. David is showing the RICO. Your RICO's showing. Your RICO's showing. Yeah, I think they got a little RICO showing. The RICO is starting to stick out, y'all. Okay, the baby, that's right. The baby oils were not tainted. There was testimony that already established that it was not tainted. I'm having such a hard time buying what the prosecution is selling. Not Saint-Tropez. I think it makes me think of the Pez dispensers from back in the day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, I got a super chat. I got a super chat. It says, thank you, Lindell. It says he's separating personal expenses from business expenses so the IRS doesn't come later for Diddy. I follow you. I'm with it. I see it. I see it, Lindell. Absolutely. And thank you as well, Jenna Bun. Thank you. I'm so excited about the 50,000. Hit that subscribe if you guys have not already. But yes, Lindell, he's definitely separating out those. And now we see. It makes sense. He doesn't want to have. See, here's the thing. That baby oil and Astroglide, it's not a business expense. It's not a business expense. So I completely understand why it says, let me go back up. I'm going to put both of those on this. It says, but you didn't expense it through the business. Usually not. I was told he didn't want to run the baby oil and the Astroglide and the condoms through the companies. He didn't want a record of them. That's a good reason. Plus, it's not a business expense. But that doesn't mean it's not part of the enterprise. At the end, it's still something that he's directing his staff to do. And the baby oil isn't the problem. The Astroglide isn't the problem. The transportation for prostitutas is the problem. That's what has him facing 10 years in that department. 10 years. 10 years over there. Let's see if we've got any other updates. And I'm going to also check another site where we're waiting. Not the Saint-Tropez, though. Here we go. Today is... There we go. Let's see. We're going to get an update from some of the other... Yeah. Oh, no. We don't want Monday. We want today. We don't care about Monday. We want today. Here we are. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Now, today it's supposed to be him, and I heard witness number 2 may testify today, Jane. It says Sean Diddy Combs is adjourned. Oh, no. That was from yesterday. All right. Here we go. That about to piss me off now. Here we go. You're pissing me off. Here we go. It was just up. Let's do it. Diddy trial. Come on. There we are. This was from yesterday. Now we need the right now. Poor Diddy. Poor Don. What do you guys think of Don's testimony from yesterday? Some people were just not, they were not feeling it. It just really felt like, here we go. We're waiting for an updated text. Here we go. Here we go. Yep. Okay. David testifies about baby oil and substances in his luggage. It says defense counsel was fairly aggressive as he crossed David James about his account of an incident involving Suge Knight. Agnifalo's demeanor with James was markedly different than his treatment of Kerry Morgan when he periodically apologized for asking questions. Defense clearly did not want the jury to hear James's story. Now that's interesting. They didn't want him to hear the story, even though he was there speaking under immunity and under a subpoena. So he didn't want to be there. It says earlier Tuesday, before the jurors entered, Agnifalo fought to have the testimony barred on the grounds it was not relevant. The government persuaded the judge to keep the testimony, however, arguing that James's story supported its racketeering charge. Yep, we had already talked about the baby oil. Testimony from a former assistant to James calls to mind similar allegations mentioned in a lawsuit from Philip Pines, who says he worked as Combs' assistant from 2019 to 21. I forgot about that case. Pines alleged in his December 2024 lawsuit in Cali that as part of his job, he was instructed to set up red lights, ice buckets, alcohol, weed, honey packs for male libido, baby oil, Astroglide, towels, substances, and power banger X machines. What is a power banger X machine? I need y'all to tell me. What is that? What is a power banger X machine? And I might need to get one. Y'all, I'm about to Google it. Hold on. Wait. We got some more. Hold on. We'll get back to the sex machine. It says, he talked about, did you tell him about the 8-ball of powder that you bought on Saint-Tropez? He said, no, he was asleep. He said, tell me about your relationship with Roger Bonds. We talked about Bad Boy as a family. What do you mean? Mama Combs called me her son, her white son, many times. Oh, that is so, I added white. Mama Combs called him her son. Oh, what a loving family they must have been. Oh, wow. Remember, this is what he looks like. I love this. I love this. This was Mama Combs' white son. He keeps crying now. I need him to stop crying. Anyway, she says, Mama Combs called me her son many times. What was the mission? As in the mission of the family, to make sure he's happy. What did I say? What did I just tell y'all? Like RICO could be protecting someone's brand. He's happy when he's making money, when people think he's God, when people think, with Diddy, when people think he's their king, not king, Kang. Okay. So that goes to the RICO purpose. The purpose is hell to Diddy, whatever you like, whatever you like from Coming to America. Combs asked, was it fun? He said, I enjoyed it from time to time. What was your relationship with Chef Jordan? Professional. Did you choke her? No. Objection. Sidebar. What? So Chef Jordan is allegedly supposed to take the stand today too. So now I get it. It would make, did you choke her? What? Combs says, and then the defense says, tell me what happened. We were on Star Island. She told me where to take him. I grabbed her 2 wrists and said, stay in your effing lane. Was there a fallout? It was reported to corporate HQ and Mr. Combs called me in. Oh, he got sassy. He got sassy with a lady. Oh, he got sassy with a lady. Okay. Y'all, we got to process this. This is very weird. This is real weird. What was your professional relationship with Chef Jordan? What was your relationship with her? Professional. Did you choke her? No. Objection. Tell me what happened. We were on Star Island. She told me where to take him. I wonder if he means like what restaurant to take him to or like an event to take him to. And he said, I grabbed her 2 wrists and said, stay out your effing lane. Stay in your effing lane, as in the food. Make him some grits. Make him some applesauce from scratch. You go get those apples off the tree. Get them off the tree and mind your business. See, that's what happens when everybody's on drugs. When everybody is on drugs, then you act crazy. Okay? You act a damn fool. This is why nobody likes their boss. Whether they're rich, whether you're rich or you're poor, everybody hates your boss. They did take a lot off on Don's testimony. So I think, yeah, that's reasonable. I can hear that. Predicate acts, hold on, must be related to each other. You're talking about predicate acts for RICO. Have similar purposes, results, participants, victims. Well, they do. They're all related to making Diddy happy, protecting his brand, protecting his image, and covering things up for him. So that's sufficient. And they're all different things that lead to that. The bribery, tampering with the witnesses, the prostitutes, that's all. Ooh, he's real happy there. He's got that Astro Glide out and he is gliding it all the way around. But it says he took her by her wrist. Was there a fallout? It was reported to corporate HQ. Mr. Combs called me in. I bet he didn't even care. It says Mr. Combs told me, you can't be putting your hands on women. He told me to give her a gift. Oh my God. Diddy said, let me teach you how to beat a woman. Let me teach you how to jerk her around. So you just got to give her a gift. Pay her rent. Pay her bills. Can you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bills? He said he told me to give her a gift. What did you give her? I rolled up a blunt and gave it to her. Did she like it? It appeared that she did. Oh my God. Y'all, this is so ghetto. Ugh. It's so ghetto, y'all. It is ghetto here. Diddy, so he done grabbed up, he done assaulted the chef. Diddy taught my son, so you can't do that. Now you got to give her a gift. Because that's what he does. After he done knocks a woman across. He done broke Kim's nose or this, that, and the third. When he done jack up a woman, he gives him a gift afterwards because that's what makes it all right. Now, here you go. Hold on. Now, first of all, let me just show y'all. First of all, this is him. This is him back in the day. Okay, so he's always been fat, which is fine. Like I told you, I like having fat friends. And then this is Capricorn Clark that is with him. So this is the one he is a big boy. He done took the chef by her wrist and told her, you stay in your effing lane. And then Diddy said, now listen, if you're going to manhandle a woman, buy her a purse. Give her a gift. But he didn't have no money because Diddy worked him like a white slave. Therefore, all he could afford was to roll up a little blunt for her. Gave her a little Mary Jane and said she appeared happy. I don't think that I'm going to put this back. I don't think this is given what the defense wanted it to give. No, they didn't date. In my opinion, he looks rather gay to me. Bless your heart. If you're watching, I know you got something better to do, but if you're watching this replay, you're a good looking guy. So if you're gay, if you're not gay, you can get a lot of girls. If you are gay, you can get a lot of boys. If you're in between, if you're like 49, 51, you can get everybody you want. So I don't want to hurt your feelings if you're watching this. All right, get back to it. Hold on. So he said, what did you give her? I rolled up a blunt and I gave it to her. Did she like it? It appeared she did. Hold on. The reason I say I don't think this is given what the defense thinks is going to give is what it's showing to me is Diddy has taught him this is what you do after you done whooped up on a woman. This is the way to be a nice guy. What the defense is probably trying to establish is like, Diddy's, he's a flawed guy, but his heart's in the right place. All he did is get her by the wrist. And Diddy was like, give her a present. If Diddy was first of all, Diddy should have gave him some money to give her a present. That man ain't got no money. You weren't paying him right. Then it says, you were in a car with Mr. Combs and who? Chris Lighty. Unfortunately, Chris Lighty allegedly unalived himself. No one believes that. Those of us, inclusive of myself, who knew of him back in the day, believe that it was that somebody did it, that it was some funny business going on. Chris Lighty. You have taken X. I'd party, sure. What were things like in the studio? Substances? Yeah, it's a creative environment. That's true. I've been there before. That's true. I didn't, and it's really dark in there, y'all. It's like when back in that day when I went, like the walls are dark. Everything is dark. It's like dark, sexy, dark. It's like a den. Like if people were to like be over there doing it to each other, you wouldn't kind of be surprised because it gives the vibe like you can take your panties off if you want, or you can keep them on. Kind of like it was. I'm gonna see if I can find some pictures on the internet. Is my wig sliding back? It is. Hold on, guys. Wig sliding. There we go. We're back. It says, he says, I didn't smoke when working with Mr. Combs, but he caught you smoking once. I thought he was in for the night. I lit up. He came out. He said, what are you doing? I said, nothing. He said, if you're man enough to smoke, you're man enough to tell me. I said, okay, I'm smoking. He said, if I did it again, he'd fire me. How about when you picked up two hookers and did it to one? Objection! 403. What's 403? Oh, I'm about to find out, y'all. Hold on. It might be bad acts. Hold on. Or outside of the scope. Federal Rule of Evidence 403 is about ensuring the fairness and efficiency of trials by allowing judges to exclude relevant evidence when it's potential to mislead, confuse, or unduly influence the jury outweighs its value in proving a fact in question. Here, let me show this to the screen. Now, this is juicy. This is juicy. Yeah, like this live, y'all. Hit the subscribe button. Y'all, so what we've got is we've got hookers and prostitutes, which we've known about. We had, if you're joining us now, we're still on the stand with David James. And part of the juiciest things that we've uncovered today is I had previously talked about this is not a one-man RICO. It's just there's only one man on stand, or there's only one man being charged because everyone else has been giving offers contingent upon them showing up and testifying. This guy substantiated that. He was asked by the defense, were you given immunity? And he said, I was given something. And they said a proffer. And so that was confirmed. He is one of many who is given that. But just now they tried to introduce into evidence of him having a hooker. And the prosecution got mad and said 403. And so what 403 means is it's basically an objection where the relevance of whatever is going to be said is it's so much. The relevance is so low compared to the fact that it could mislead or unduly influence the jury or even confuse them of the issues. In other words, him getting hookers isn't relevant to whether or not whether or not Diddy was instructing him to execute tasks that could be supportive of RICO or other things. In other words, even if he gets hookers, that doesn't change the fact that Diddy engaged in prostitution, transportation for prostitution. Two things can be true. One doesn't nullify the other. I want to hear what you guys think of this objection in the chat. Can't stop, won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop crying. That's true. He keep on crying. Can't stop, won't stop. I'm very unserious. Yes. No, Jazz. Why Jay said I thought 403 meant hoes. It's what and what. We've got what and what. So yeah, so he got some hookers. So the prosecution is mad that he was up here talking about that the defense slid in the fact that he had hookers. So I'm gonna reread this. It said Diddy said, so Diddy caught him smoking weed and said, if you're man enough to smoke, you're man enough to tell me. I said, okay, I'm smoking. He said, if I did it again, he'd fire me. How about when you picked up two hookers and did it to one? Objection. I know that man was like, see, this is why I didn't want to come up here. This is why I didn't even want to come to court. Also, doing stuff like that literally scares other witnesses and makes them not want to show up. It really does. So I'm sure the prosecution is so frustrated. The judge says, objection. Oh, wait. Judge said, overruled. We want to hear about the hookers. Judge said, let's talk about your hookers, Mr. Man. Let's talk about your hookers, sassy pants. No, he's not sassy. He's actually been doing a good job, respectful. He said, she asked for 200. I called Bonds and asked, what the hell? She asked to take a shower. I said, that's $200? Yo, wait a minute. Yo. He tells the story straight face. Wait, in defense says, on that note, no further questions. Yo. That was so good. Because the reason that was good is basically David James was like, oh, you want to embarrass me? Let me tell you something. I'm running around with your client who is the biggest hoe, and he taught me how it's done. She asked me for $200. I called Roger Bonds and I asked what the hell, as in like, is this the going rate? I don't know, because y'all the one to deal with all the hookers. She asked to take a shower, and I said, that's $200? I don't blame him. He's like, you better lower your prices. $200, you better do more than that. Especially back then, y'all, that was 2009. We were in a recession. Okay. People were jumping off buildings because they were losing that much money. Bear Stearns, what is it? It was a whole bunch of banks just collapsing. And you over here trying to charge people $200 for a shower? No, ma'am. You better get to work. For $200, you better clean my whole apartment, do my laundry, butt naked, show me your STD test. Yes, I think he's doing a really good job because it sounds honest. To me, it sounds honest. He said, how about when you picked up the two hookers and did it to one? Objection, overruled. Tell us about the hookers. She asked for $200. So I called Roger Bonds and asked him, what the hell? Because Roger should have gave him, Roger, you should have, I'm going to go under your page on Instagram. But Roger, you should have gave that man that $200. You know, you could have got it back from Diddy. And it should have been like a bonus for all the ish that man was dealing with. It says redirect. Okay, so now the prosecutor is back. It's going to get boring. What about the incident in Alpine, New Jersey? To file a police report and say that Chef Jordan had been the aggressor, but I didn't file it. I drove around and told him I'd made the report. Yo, that's dirty. That's dirty. Yo. Oh my God. Okay. I need to make sure you guys are following me here. So Diddy hears, okay, so David James, knew he was in the wrong. He was probably a little drugged out because they make you be really aggressive and stuff. He gets testy with Chef Jordan, who's a woman, okay? I want to make sure you guys know she's a woman. That's very important. He gets testy with Chef Jordan, grabs her by both of her wrists, and tells her when she tries to tell him to take Diddy to a certain, probably restaurant, but a certain place, he grabs her wrist and says, stay in your effing lane. I don't know why I think his voice might be high pitched back then. I don't know. Probably because of the picture. And Diddy finds out about it, calls him in and said, y'all, man, you can't be putting your hands on a woman. Buy her a gift. Because that's what Diddy does. He knocks you through the room, hits your head on a brick, stomps you, kicks you, and then he pays your rent. Or buys you a car. Or takes you to Saint-Tropez with your homegirls, right? So Diddy did that, told him buy her a gift. He bought her a blunt, rolled her a blunt. He said he rolled her some Mary Jane, gave it to her, and they enjoyed it together. And then Diddy instructs him to file a police report against the chef who was the victim and lie and said that she had been the aggressor. Yo. Means and modes of operation. This is what it looks like when you're dealing with a criminal enterprise and you have a boss with no conscience. Let me tell you, is somebody in these comments? Y'all, my wig is sliding. Sorry. I'm going to fix my wig so you can take me seriously. Shit, what is going on here? Y'all, is somebody in these comments who has a boss with no conscience? You be super careful. Oh, I see what's the problem. My little combs aren't where they need to be. You be really careful. Because when you work with, let me tell you, I dated a boy, a grown man actually. I dated a man or two who didn't have no conscience. Let me tell you, it's nothing that they won't do to win or to be right. Them the type of men that'll do it to your daughter. Okay? They'll do it to your best friend. You better watch out. This man, Diddy told him, file a police report and say that she was the aggressor. He said, but I didn't file it. Instead, I drove around and I told him that I did file it. Yo. Chef Jordan's supposed to take the stand next, and I can't wait. The defense, I don't know. The defense they shouldn't have listened to that story. If the defense would have shut their mouth and not asked about Chef Jordan, this story would not have come out. Child, what y'all think about that? Now the prosecutor said, what have we asked you to do? Tell the truth. Nothing further. Recross. You lied to Mr. Combs about filing the police report. Yep. Nothing further. Can we have a break? Yes, you can have a break. First of all, you sound stupid. You sound stupid, Mr. Agnifilo, to say you lied about filing the police report. Yeah, because he was taking accountability. He knew he was wrong. So no, he wasn't about to file a police. If you are over there encouraging your staff to file fake police reports, that is also part of a criminal enterprise. Are you crazy? Thank you. Oh, Jess. Yes. I was thinking about Tamar this whole time. Said, girl, don't let me do that. The way I be talking about stuff and people and stuff. I don't talk about people bad. I talk about myself. Self-deprecating? Because I'm ridiculous. But y'all, this is juicy. It is juicy. Yeah, this is why I put this on when I don't feel like combing my hair. And then I just got my hair like a little braid. I have hair. It's there. My hair is like to my elbow, to my bra strap, elbow, whatever. When it's straight, but when it's curly, it's shoulder length. Okay, who cares? But so Diddy knows. So he know. Let's just play this back. We're gonna switch it up to a cubicle. Let's say this isn't Diddy. You work at the Amazon warehouse, okay, and or the Amazon cubicle. You get into it with your coworker. You're a dude. You get into it with your female coworker. Grab her by the wrist and tell her stay in your effing lane. Your boss finds out about it, calls you in the office and say, you got to buy her a gift. Buy her a gift. You know, you can't be putting your hands on women at the cubicle. You got to buy her a gift. Only to later, after you do that, smooth things over. Everything is cool. You moved on with your life. Only to find out that he's later like, I don't like that B. You should make a police report and say she did it. What? File a police report and say she didn't, even though I know I did it. See, that's the difference. That's why the jury is going to like David James's testimony. Okay, shut up, Aries. David James is going to, I think, do well with the jury because number one, we see he has a conscience. There is no job in the world where it is lawful to tell your employee to go make a fake police report. That's insane. And not only that, I think what's even worse is a fake police report when you knew you were a physical aggressor to a woman. All type of violations. It's conniving. Thank you, Royal Watson. Thank you. The natural base at my warehouse job was the worst. That could totally happen. Yo, seriously, that's why I said a warehouse. Everything goes down there. It's it really just depends on the kind of boss you have. That's some audacity. Like that's so. The reason I say it was just foolish of the defense to pull out that story. We would have known that story if the defense hadn't pulled it out. Nobody, because here's how it works. On direct, there had been no discussion of Chef Jordan. So what happens is prosecution lays out all the major big hitters, anything that they want the jury to know. Prosecution elicits that on the direct testimony. Therefore, if it doesn't come out in direct, it's not something that the prosecution had on their bingo card, or like that it was not important for them to get across. So I want you to follow me here. So then on cross, though, the defense choose to bring out the Chef Jordan story. If you're just joining us, check this out. Chef Jordan is going to be a witness, I believe, later today. And she's a witness that's going to talk about the working conditions and the RICO. But defense brings out the Chef Jordan story of how he grabbed her on her wrist and told her to stay in her effing lane because they were trying to establish that Diddy was like a pretty good guy. He was a good boss. He told her, man, you can't do that. Go buy her a gift. And then, because they opened the door and pulled out that dumb story, the prosecution was on Recross able to say, And what happened in Alpine, New Jersey? Oh, yeah. Then Diddy instructed me to file a police report and say she was the aggressor. I didn't do it. I got in the car. I drove around. I told him I did it, but I didn't do it. Why? Because I'm not committing a crime with you, dumbass. And then the defense attorney says, so you lied. Yes. Yeah. Hey, newsflash, dumbtard. That's what I'm saying, because the R word is not nice. We don't say that anymore. Newsflash, dumbtard. It's better to lie to your boss when your boss asks you to commit a crime. It's better to lie to him than commit the crime. Okay? Dumbtard. Put in the chat, dumbtard. How do I feel when the defense attorney does it? I don't think either side should do it. We'll see. We'll see if they do that. But it's just a dumbtard. Just because Garth Brooks needs a RICO charge. Ooh, what did Garth do? I wouldn't put anything past him. Diddy probably told him he filed a police report not knowing he never filed it. No, it says that Diddy instructed him, as in David James, to file a untruthful police report claiming that the chef was the aggressor. That's likely going to become relevant. We'll likely hear about that when Chef Jordan takes the stand, because likely Chef Jordan probably made allegations against Diddy, and he wanted that police report to be on file to negate her credibility. Yes, honey. Sandy G, all this onion peeling is leading up to it. All right. Hey, Simone, do I know when Cassie's mother is testifying? I'm going to guess after this or this afternoon. Yes, Diana, filing a police report, a fake one, is a crime. So heck yeah, I would rather lie to my boss than commit a crime, you little dumb tard. That's what the defense is wanting. Okay, we got a little break. Wow, this was such a morning. All right, so let's do our little check. We got our little check. Let's do our RICO check, y'all. Y'all ready for the RICO check? We finna do the RICO check. We finna do the RICO check. Ow, ow, ow. RICO on deck. All right, let's see whether, how are we feeling about the testimony? We're going to go back to the RICO offenses. So just, this is the indictment. This is the indictment that I have on the screen. And just to recap your memory, they have already confirmed there is an enterprise. The enterprise is Sean Combs Enterprises, right? They have to prove that an enterprise is in a group existed that had a common purpose, relationships, and continuity. In other words, doing something one time isn't good enough. They have to show that there's a pattern of events. The pattern is the consistent, like, I need you to fix this, commit this crime for me, do this or that, get these hookers together, get these substances, whatever, over a consistent time period. Here, the relevant time period is around 2009 until 2024 per the indictment. And that the activities have to be related. They cannot be isolated, and they have to be continuous. And so what they're trying to say, what they're claiming is that, yeah, they've consisted basically from 2009 until the present. And remember, here, the predicate offenses include trafficking, substance distribution, witness tampering. Obstruction of justice is actually a subcomponent that goes with the witness tampering. But here is the indictment. We're going to put it on the screen. I don't know, from what you've heard today, we're going to make a little checklist. We're going to walk through it. It says, let me read these comments. Listen, Diddy needs to be stopped. This is the only way, or else he's going to be doing this till he's 90. That's true. It says the fool done named Obama. He is finished. Somebody said a false report. RICO check, RICO check. Here we go. All right, so let me get to the page. We got the RICO check. Here we go. These are the underlying offenses. Oh, there you are. Hold on. There we go. Here's the underlying offenses. There are 8 of them. They only have to prove 2 within 10 years. And I would say of the ones that are on this list, these are not one-time scenarios that we're seeing so far. Hold on, let me make it a little bigger. You don't need to see my big face. We need to see the dots. Here we are. There we go. All right, so we got number 1, we had bribery. And this is not just today, but any of the days. Number one, we got bribery. Sorry, no. Number one is kidnapping. We still have not seen any kidnapping. People have said, what about Cassie at the hotel? Under California law, they didn't move her far enough. California law requires for kidnapping, it needs to be a substantial distance. Now, it could have been false imprisonment, but that's not an option. False imprisonment, the difference is false imprisonment, you don't move them far. You just, wherever they at, you say you can't leave here. Once I dated this really ugly guy. He didn't have eyebrows, but I tried to give him a chance because he was smart and he had, my friends thought, a good personality. Anyway, I was trying to get away from him because I hated him that day. And I wanted to it was the day I broke up with him. And so I hopped into a cab. He didn't want my cab to leave. And so he put his arms in the door and he stopped the cab and he called the police on me because he's a hoe. Yeah, he was a hoe. You know the words. And so when he was on the phone with the police, he was like, she's trying to leave, because I had his keys. I had his car key, his house keys in my purse. Because, well, this is important. I had his keys because he walked out of the restaurant and left his keys in my car. Or he put them in my purse, actually. And I wasn't giving them back until he paid for our meal. Anyway, the point is, when he called the cops, he said, I'm holding her here. I'm not letting her cab leave. She's trying to leave and she's got my keys. I'm holding her here until you guys get there. 911 said, you need to let her cab go. Otherwise, that is considering false imprisonment or kidnapping. It was false imprisonment because he wouldn't let me go nowhere. And it wasn't like he drove me somewhere. It was that he wouldn't let me leave. So anyway, don't date men who don't have eyebrows. They're always angry for no reason. All right, so number one, was kidnapping. We have not seen that. Number two was arson. We haven't seen that yet either. Multiple acts involving bribery. I think we've seen, arguably, okay, so number one, the hotel, bribery. He offered the guy money. Bribery is the act of offering. It has nothing to do with the acceptance. It's the offer is the bribery. So he bribed the hotel. He bribed the security guard at the hotel. He bribed whoever ultimately took the money. Arguably, some of these settlement agreements he's been getting people to sign could be forms of bribery, but I'll just stick with the hotel. I feel like the hotel situation where he paid them $100,000, that would be our bribery. Then we've got tampering with a witness. All right. Witnesses, plural. He tampered with the hotel witnesses. The first guy that worked there, the guy who said no, he wouldn't take the money. Then the guy who did take the money, that would be another tamper because he took the money in exchange for not speaking on it. Then we've got forced labor. Here's the thing. A lot of people hate their jobs. I love my job because I work with you guys. Forced labor. It's where with force, you prevent someone from stopping, from sleeping, from, or you make them work longer and you give them substances. You force them to take substances in order to continue working. I think we've heard allegations of it, but we have not seen testimony, strong testimony of that. Now, Dawn did talk about she didn't get to sleep. She worked late, that she was given substances, but she said she didn't take it. I think it was alluded to, but I would argue, I think it's coming. But I won't say, yep, I've seen enough forced labor where I would give that a check mark. Then we've got S trafficking. When you see my analysis on my channel, I really put the S to the side. The reason I put the S to the side is I want to make sure you guys understand he can be charged with RICO even without S trafficking. And the only two people he's charged with S trafficking are Cassie and victim 2, both of whom were girlfriends. So if the defense successfully argues this is DV, it's not trafficking, he gets off on those. What I'm trying to show is even without those, he's still facing life under RICO. So in addition to the S trafficking, we got the transportation for prostitutas. Just last night, there was released all these photos of the male hookers. Anybody have any questions on the hookers or whether or not any dispute? All they have to show is that they did it with these hookers, that he hired these hookers in at least 2 states. There's been more than enough proof of that. So we've got the bribery, tampering with witnesses, the hookers, and then last is possession with intent to distribute or distribution of substances. It includes distributing them to him. So like him having David James take the stand and talk about going and picking it up. That helps. Girl, I love that hairy unit. Where is it from? Oh, my hair unit. It's from Amazon. I'll link it. I'll link it to whatever under the video. I don't want to see him in jail forever, but he deserves some time for all this. That's fair. That's fair. Do I think victim 2 is Gina or Bow Wow's baby? Bow Wow's baby? I would be thoroughly fascinated if it's Bow Wow's baby mom, but no, I think victim 3 is Gina, and I don't think she's showing up. And victim 2, I'm not sure. So victim 2 started dating him in 2020. That's how I know it's not Gina, because Gina was dating him back in the Cassie days. Federal RICO charges is serious business. Those workers came in from other states and countries. Good morning. Yes, that's a business. Jess, that's a business organization. You just can't make it be what you want. What is RICO? So RICO is the racketeering. RICO is the Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act. Basically, it is used to take down powerful people who use lower level people to do their dirty work and wreak havoc. That's it. So R. Kelly, it was RICO. That's how they ultimately got him. They were able to say he used his staff, his assistants to go recruit girls, drive up to their little high schools, pick them up, wine and dine them, give them alcohol, give them substances, and then get them to do it to him. So it's effectively any powerful person who is able to use their staff to then commit crimes that in some way benefit him. And the benefit can be, as here, something as simple as creating continuing his positive image, killing off stories that say, you know, he whooped his girlfriend up and down the hall when he whooped his girlfriend up and down the hall. Those kind of things. So with RICO here, that's the act. They have to show that he conducted or participated in an enterprise that was used to commit crimes. So, I mean, that's what this, and it has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. We know so you have to show the existence of the enterprise. That's been shown. The pattern of racketeering activity, that's what a large part of Cassie's story was to help prove. Yes, it was also to help prove the ST. But it was also you got to show the pattern, that it's not a one-time thing. The pattern in Cassie's situation with her facts would be the staff members that covered it up. The staff members that said, oh, he knocked you real bad. You're all bruised. Here, you need to go hide out in this hotel. We'll bring you food. We'll do this. No, don't call the police. You may not call the police. The ones who, when she would run off, they would go get her and bring her back to him so he could knock her through the wall a little bit more. The ones who gave her substances, all of that. And there needs to be a connection between the enterprise and the crimes. Yep. It's the enterprise workers who do that. It has to be done on purpose. Got to know you're doing it. And they have to show Diddy agreed to participate with them. In other words, he instructed, or he said, okay, yeah, you guys go give the workers these substances or this, that, and the third. So here they're going to use the victim testimony. At some point, we're going to see business and financial records. I think that's what the business workers are going to be. There's going to be communications, there's footage, there's videos, as well as the civil allegations. But here, the bombshell. Let me give you my big old face while we're waiting to get back from break. Hold on. Let me just double check. Let me double check. All right, they're back. We are back. Here we go. And y'all, today, the bombshell that we found today was that David James testified that he was, in fact, offered. It wasn't immunity, but it was a step before immunity, which is the proffer, which is where you come in, you tell everything. You cannot be charged with whatever you shared. And from that, the prosecution decided to subpoena him. So that was huge. I've been saying that was the case. So it's not that no one else is being charged. It's that people are being given immunity or deals. They're back. The judge said, jurors, I'm going to try to get the temperature turned up in here. I'm told it's complicated, but I'm freezing right now along with you. The government calls Regina Ventura. Mama's on the stand. Mama's on the stand. Hold on. Let me do a banner for that. We got Mama. Now, Regina is the black lady. FYI. She's part black, huh? Her mama's on the stand. She's black, West Indian, and Mexican, if anybody cares. Mama's on the stand. All right. Where do you live? New London, Connecticut. How many children do you have? 2. Roderick. Oh, that is a black boy name for sure. Yeah, that's a black lady. Roderick and Cassandra. Both of them are black people names. Who is this? Sean Combs. He dated my daughter. Y'all, I thought it said he hated my daughter. He dated my daughter. When did you meet Sean Combs? 2006. My daughter signed with his Bad Boy Records. He was her boss. Then they started dating. They moved to LA. Read this message from December 2011. Cassandra wrote to me. Very good. He was her boss. Yeah, that was good. I don't know. Ooh, hold on. Make sure you got it. All right, let's see. Y'all, Mama is on the stand. Is there a difference in legal punishment? Did she prove trafficking? I say go 50-50. It really just depends on whether or not you feel like she could have left. I could see at least one singular juror, at least a juror, saying he doesn't feel comfortable finding him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of trafficking, at least as it relates to Cassie. We'll see what happens with with victim 2, which is also alleged trafficking. Mama should have been a mama and sent her daughter to college. Yeah, I don't know why Cassie couldn't go to college and model. I was a child actress. I'm in the Screen Actors Guild and all the above, but I was a child actress. I stopped when I went to University of Pittsburgh, but that's because it was Pittsburgh and there were no jobs. There wasn't anything substantial. Oh. You've asked, is there a legal punishment difference? For RICO, he faces life. For S trafficking, I think S trafficking could also be life. And then for the transportation for prostitution, max is 10 years. So that's why when I'm analyzing the S trafficking, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You can't, because if you prove RICO, he faces just as much time as the trafficking, from my understanding. All right, let's see. We've got an update on the mama's text. Here we go. Cassandra wrote to me. She said, Combs threatened to release the S tape and go after her and Mr. Muscati. How did you react? It made me sick. Sean demanded $20,000. He said to recoup losses due to Mr. Muscati from my husband and myself. Baby, what? Oh, hell no. Okay. Oh, I gotta apologize. I was trying to figure out where her daddy was. I was trying to figure out why her daddy, I had questions, y'all. I see, I'm getting it now, because I was really up there like, what was your daddy doing to where you didn't, Mr. Ventura? We're waiting for more text messages too, by the way. Mr. Ventura. Mr. Ventura, I'm sorry. I get it now. I get it. Oh. Extortion. Diana said his gaslighting is out of control. Okay, she's not partially West Indian. Okay, what I read is that the mother is Black, Mexican, and West Indian. But I don't know. As a second-year law student, they have only proved the transportation of individuals across state lines. Everything else is debatable. I absolutely disagree. Thank you for joining us, Ronald. I absolutely disagree. I think they've proven bribery. And I think part of the testimony that's also proven bribery and tampering with the witness is the fact that they acknowledged that the hotel gave Cassie $10 million and that the hotel received $100,000. So let me know your thoughts on why is it not bribery when you make the tape of the abuse go missing in exchange for $100,000, and how that's not tampering with the witness. All right, let's go back to Mama. Let's see what else Mama wrote. Just let me know your thoughts. I'm not saying you're not right. I'm just thinking about it. It said, how did you react? Okay. She said Sean threatened to release the S tape and go after her and Mr. Muschetti. I got to figure out who Mr. Muschetti is. Anybody know? Who is Mr. Muschetti? You got to know. That don't even sound like a real name. Like, it sounds like when my cousin Noella was a baby and she couldn't pronounce spaghetti and she used to call it Muschetti. Oh, Muschetti is Kid Cudi. I think that is. His real name is Scott Ramon Seguro Muschetti. How fucking dare you? Oh my gosh, I hope this don't get demonetized. How dare you? He threatened to release a S tape of her and go after her and Mr. Muschetti. How did you react? It made me sick. Sean Combs demanded $20,000, he said, to recoup losses due to Kid Cudi from my husband and myself. Boy, what? Hold on. Here it is. What? I just confirmed. Mr. Muschetti is Kid Cudi. That's Kid Cudi's name. Are you crazy? Oh my God. Oh Lord. Okay, let's get the update. Hold on. It said, yes, here it is. It made me sick. Sean demanded $20,000. He said to recoup losses due to Mr. Muschetti from my husband and myself. Why did you take a loan and pay Sean? For the safety of my daughter. Look in the binder next to you. These are the photos I took of my daughter's bruises from Sean Combs. Jesus freaking Jerome Christ. Jesus Jerome Christ. Jesus Jerome. Y'all, I don't know what I thought her mom was going to testify to, but it wasn't that. It wasn't that. I actually thought her mom was just going to testify to some redundancy that, like, there was one time Cassie hid out or whatever, and then Cassie, y'all took out a loan. Let me tell you something. I know no better criminal. I know no more brilliant criminal than my father, Mr. Redwine. And the way Diddy wouldn't exist. Now, and my dad's not a normal person. He's not a normal person. And I only am speaking about these things because the statute of limitations for everything that he's done has expired. But I say that to say, I understand. I understand why she was so frightened and felt like she couldn't go nowhere. Let me tell you. This is a sidebar. Let me tell you. There was this time, one of my aunties was dating this man that used to whoop on her. Okay. And she called my daddy and she said, Rocky, because they call my daddy Rocky, he'll fight real good. If you needed somebody to fight for you in the projects or wherever in the cities of Dallas or the state of Colorado, you call my daddy and he'll beat him up for you. Anyway, she said, Rocky, he done whipped up on me. I can't take it no more, Rocky. You got to come get me. And my daddy was like, are you sure? Are you sure you are done with him? Because don't have me up there involved with this and you going to take this man back. She said, I'm sure, Rocky. I'm sure I can't take it no more. He done beat me real bad. My daddy drove to the state that they were in. They were in a whole nother state. But they said, pack all your stuff up. I'm going to come get you and I'm going to move you in with me, but you better not take that nigga back or I'll beat you and him. She said, okay, Rocky, okay. My daddy drove all the way. I'm going to show you a picture of him too. My daddy drove all the way. I'm not going to say what state it is. Drove all the way to the state that this man, it was a real white state, real white. Drove up there. The man was locked up because he whipped on her so bad. And this was like in the 70s. Okay. So if you got locked up in the 70s for whooping on a woman, you whipped the bad because they really would let you just do whatever you wanted, especially if it was a black woman back then. He whipped on her so bad. My dad goes to the jail. My dad didn't even go to Auntie house, to their apartment. My daddy went to the jail, paid this man's bail, bailed him out, drove him to the woods, beat him within an inch of his life. There is a version of the story where my father also took his clothes, left him with drawers, though. He had drawers. He wasn't butt naked. Left the man naked, but not butt naked, with drawers in the woods, and then proceeded to drive to the apartment and packed up all my auntie's stuff and drove her home. Oh, and by the way, when Daddy picked him up from the jail, he was so happy because he didn't know anybody in that state. And it was a really, really white place, right? So he was elated. He was elated. So he was like, oh, thank you so much, Rocky, for bailing me out, man. I thought I was going to have to sit in there. I couldn't make that bail. I thought I was going to have to sit in there for weeks, man. I know what I was going to do. You know how your sister get. You know, she be running her mouth and all that type of stuff. You know how your sister get. My dad was like, Took him out in that woods and just went to town on him, okay? Went to town. What I'm saying is, when you're getting somebody out of one of these domestic violence situations, oh, by the way, when my daddy had thought about it, he was like, I need to know where this man is so that he don't run up on me while I'm trying to pack up my sister's stuff and drive her out. I know we have more than enough time to get her out of there, right? So by him beating that man within an inch of his life, taking his clothes and leaving him in the wilderness, he knew it was going to take him. It was going to take him a real long time. Wasn't nobody trying to give no hitchhiking, butt naked black man a ride in Nebraska. You see what I'm saying? That wasn't gonna happen. And second of all, if he was gonna tell the police, wouldn't nobody believe him? Because what you gonna tell the police? Oh, I just whooped up on this man's sister and he bailed me out and then he beat me up real bad. People be like, well, I guess you shouldn't have whooped up on her sister then. Huh? I guess you shouldn't have whipped up on her sister. My point is, I do understand that when you are trying to help somebody leave a domestic violence, you got to come. It has to be a holistic plan. Okay. You got to get people involved. Sometimes it takes some weapons and crimes. It might take some weapons and crimes. Statute of limitations is gone. It was Nebraska. I could tell you it was Nebraska. It was Nebraska. If you know, we're known in Nebraska. Jarvis red wine and stuff. Yeah, it's okay. It's statute of limitation. He probably dead anyway. That man probably dead. This was like in the 70s, okay? These people are all over the age of 70. What are you going to do now? My daddy whooped you when you were in your 20s, and my daddy will whoop you in your 80s. So go to hell. Anyway, let's see. We got some updates. We need some updates here. I can't believe that. Poor Cassie's mama and daddy. All right, no updates yet. All right, we got a little update. Okay. The point is, when you have a loved one trying to get out of one of these situations, don't be afraid to have a creative solution and use some weapons. You want weapons and a strategy. Let me know if you need an alibi. I am here for you. All right. So they said, these are the photos she said she took of her daughter and the bruises. Then the AUS says, do you know Mia? She was an employee of Sean Combs. What happened? We were in his kitchen laughing. Sean asked her why she was laughing. She stopped and looked plain. Now to August 2016, we're done with the binder. All right, something's missing there. Inner City Press, we love you, but something's missing from that. There's some more to that transaction, but I'm going to check on another website to see what it is. See, that's what I love Make It Make Sense. He's one of my real life friends. Here we go. And he often, when he gives his end of the day recaps, he fills in those gaps. Let's see. All right, let's see. All right, let's see what else we got. Instructing to file it. Jane said Combs. Hey, this is just crazy. Just crazy. All right, we still waiting on this update with the mama. Y'all, the bombshell. So I feel like the two bombshells we've received today so far are that David James was testifying under immunity, which confirmed that some of these witnesses have immunity. So for those saying this is a one-man RICO, no. But also that Diddy blackmailed Cassie's mama and daddy, told them they had to pay him $20,000 for her messing with Kid Cudi. Mind you, this man had about 11 girlfriends and a whole baby on the way. Okay, he had the twins while dating Cassie, and yet went to her hardworking parents and made them take out a $20,000 loan for her safety because they already knew he was whooping her tail. No wonder she didn't think she could go no gosh darn where. Lord, I can't believe it. There was also the bombshell that with David James, his assistant, David got into it with the chef, grabbed her by her arms. Diddy had said, oh man, you can't do that to a woman. You got to buy her a gift. He buys her a gift, and then Diddy tells him that he needs to set her up. He should go make a false police report, accuse the woman of actually being the aggressor and attacking him, and that to do that. And so instead, David got in a car, drove around town for a while, pretended to do it, didn't actually do it, pretended to do it. And the defense said, so you lied. And he said, yep, and did. Child. All right. So while we're waiting for more updates, let's see. From child. All right. Okay, we got some more. Ooh, we got some more. All right, here we are. We got some updates. Here we go. She said, da 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 da. All right, and again, they had to pay the $20,000 because he said he had to recoup the losses due to Kid Cudi, whatever the hell that means. Then it was, they were in the kitchen. It says, while in LA, did you call the police? Yes. Sean Combs stole Cassie's phone. They had a bitter argument outside her apartment building. She lived on the 17th floor. They argued at the roundabout. Who else was there? D-Rock. Is Damian Butler his government name? He was standing between us. I tried to hit him. She said, Sean Combs took Cassie's car, a Jag. No further questions, Judge Cross. Defense. No questions. And she rested. Go ahead, mama. They did good. Oh, that is so interesting. Defense said no questions. That means they are done with mama. Mama is done. I'm going to guess. Y'all. Baby. Beauty. Let me tell you. Why? Your question is, why didn't her mama call the FBI? I'd like to know that too. I don't know. Let me tell you what would happen. This how it would work with my mom and my daddy. First of all, my dad would call one of my cousins who just got out of prison for something or another. I don't know. They go back and forth. It's like double Dutch. We'll call one of them and be like, here's an address. Here's what you need to do. Because some of them, there are some people, if you got the right kind of family, like I do, there are some people that they just feel more comfortable. They come out a little while, say hello to everyone, have some free world food, then they go back in there. But my mom would also be up at the church house. Okay. I'm from Oak Cliff, Holy Cross Catholic Church. She'd be up there in Holy Cross and she'd be like, just asking around. My mama, she teaches confirmation. So, we real Catholic. She'd be like, so I know somebody works for the government. Who do we have in the church that works for the FBI? And then she'd find out who that person is. Then she'd invite them over for Sunday dinner, cook them some gumbo, because our church is Creole and Nigerian. Cook them some gumbo, have them at the house, make friends with them, quietly describe the scenario. And this would be like an FBI worker. They might just staple pens and papers. They could work in the mail room. They could be on the fax machine. My mother doesn't care. What she'd do is she'd get that side angle. Okay. She'd be your friend. Then she'd ask you for help. You'd be more likely to help her because number one, this is a crime. This is all crimes. And we're dealing with a crime syndicate at this fucking point. At this freaking point. And she'd get you at the house and she'd feed you Because my mom taught me especially if it's a man, if my mom said, if you want a man to do something, you got to feed his belly first. So I believe in that. That's what I did before I ever asked a man for some money. And then you would use that you got to come up with a strategy. You got to get to the FBI. You got to get to the FBI back then. Because here's the other thing. Cassie was probably aware of so many offenses and crimes that he was committing. She could have took him down back then, but she had to have a holistic strategy. Yes, my mama would have baited. We'd have had the FBI in our kitchen. And they would have been eating that gumbo. They would have tore that gumbo up. I don't care if they have a shellfish allergy. My mom can make it. She can make chicken and sausage gumbo. The point is, while it does seem, it raises a lot of questions, but the testimony also helps. I think it's going to help a jury have a better understanding of just how powerful this man was. What's their excuse? Which excuse? Y'all say Cassie didn't get out because of her victimhood. Cool. What is their excuse? Is in the parents? I don't know. Why wouldn't Diddy's mom turn her demon offspring? Oh, of course. Have you seen her wigs? Excuse me, Pocahontas. Why wouldn't Diddy's mom turn in her demon offspring? This woman wears blonde, synthetic, curly wigs. She fears nothing. She don't fear death. This woman, she is 2 days from death. She has nothing to fear. She cares not. Okay. Synthetic, you know how itchy that shit is? It's not even fabric. It's not even hair. It's fabric. Okay. This woman, no, she doesn't operate by the traditional rules. She wore that to court and her son is a millionaire. I used to wear synthetic ponytails when I was in the 7th grade and I would buy it with my allowance. She doesn't care about anything. She keeps quiet to pacify her son. Remember, there was also the story that Sean slapped her one day. And hearing what we're hearing, I believe it. She is the reason. She's the reason for the demon. She made him. She fears no one. I don't know that she fears God. I don't think she fears God. She thinks her son could buy him too. She is keeping the peace so that he will continue paying her bills. That's how she operates. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Hit that subscribe. Yo, this morning has been, I bet you Diddy put his mom up to wearing that Party City wig so people feel sorry for her. Diddy is a strategic man. I feel sorry for her scalp because I know how it feels. If you got eczema, that's going to aggravate that girl. You better get home, put that Head and Shoulders on right now. Right now. Oh, let me hit refresh. Thank you, guys. Lordy. Next witness. Okay. Thank you, guys. Next witness. The government calls Mr. Sheree Hayes. Where are you from? Harlem, New York. What was your work? Male exotic dancer. I was known as the Punisher. The Punisher. I'm so disgusted. Apparently, he was a really good exotic dancer. He could flip you upside down and he would commit S acts on you, but you have to pay him. Somebody said, oh, wait, is this one of the toys, y'all? Yes, that's what they refer to him as, human toys. Jesus, y'all. This is quite the morning. Hold on, let me take this down. The Punisher is on the stand. I'm going to move this down. The Punisher. The Punisher. I want to see what his gifts look like. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. The Punisher. I bet you punish people with that thing. I bet you punish people with that thing. Here we go. We're waiting for an update. The Punisher. Do you recognize these two? I do. Mr. Sean Combs and Cassie. I was hired in 12 to create a sexy scene for them. Okay, I'm Googling him as we speak. We have got to know. I still can't believe the Cassie mama and daddy had to take out a $20,000 loan to pay Diddy, because Diddy said it was to recoup losses for Kid Cudi. It was at that moment, honey, you should have called a lawyer. A lawyer, mama. It's okay, you didn't know. And I bet you'll never be in that situation again. This is why Kid Cudi is crazy, bless his heart. They didn't put him through it. It's okay. You make good music, sir. All right, The Punisher. The Punisher, exotic dancer. Show me your dick. I want to see it. Or waiting. I need. Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, guys. We're waiting for some more. Hold on. Oh, I found a picture of him. Yeah, he looked like he'll punish some chocha. Okay, here's what he looks like, guys. The Punisher. He's gonna punish that Uzi. He's gonna punish. He looks smart too. Oh, we're gonna do this one. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's got a YouTube. Oh, this is him. You guys, he's gonna perform for us. Okay, so if you're rewatching this and this is clipped out, it's because YouTube probably gave me some notice or whatever. So, okay, let's see. Oh, that's him. Okay, now that's somebody, Chris. We don't care about Chris. We want to see the Punisher. That's just, no. We want Sheree. Here we go. Oh, hold on. We don't hear. Mute. There we go. We don't need the sound. Oh, take it off. Punish us. Punish us. Punish us. Ooh. Ooh. Ow. Arch that back. Oh my gosh. My arthritis could never. My sciatica could never. Oh, flip her upside down. He's wearing chaps with his butt cheeks out. Oh, he's got his butt cheek in her. Oh, he's got the leg. Oh, he's straddling her face. Oh, it's a little dark in here. Oh, gosh. Here, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Oh, it's somebody's birthday. Look at those butt cheeks. Oh, man. He's going to go a little bit faster. So I just want you to see these angles. Look at those cheeks. Oh, they're clenched. Now, you guys know a lot of male exotic dancers are gay. Oh, he picked her up. And it makes it easier to do their job because it's just work. They don't actually want to be with the women. I accidentally dated a gay exotic dancer. He didn't want to be gay. He wanted me to ungay him, but I had to explain to him. And while I can do all things through our Lord Jesus Christ, that wouldn't be one of them. Oh, look he's got the crawl. Oh, he's holding her ankles. That's a new one. I can see why that'd be a good one. Oh. No way, Jose. No, look at this ankle. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, guys. You can't see it. Hold on. I'm sorry. I've been enjoying this the whole time. I'm so sorry, guys. Forgive me. Here, you can see it now. Here, you can see it. You guys, look at these angles. Look at these angles. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Oh, he said he wasn't gay. Okay, I was just wondering. Some of them do be gay. Look at that. He did this little move. Oh, rod him. Look at those cheeks. Hold on, I'm going to roll back a little bit because I do want y'all to see the cheeks I was referring to before. Here we go. There we go. Those are the cheeks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's really taking his time with it. Look at it. He lifts her up. I know that made her feel nice. She might not get that at home. Oh, yeah. Okay, we've got a little chair involved. He was just doing all this little back work. Hold on, I'm gonna speed it up. This is him. While we're waiting. Oh, look at that little ding-a-ling. Ow, 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 ow. Hey. Ow, 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 ow. Get it, girl. Oh, they fail, y'all. They fail. You gonna hurt her back. She didn't sign up for this. This is him. He's on this man on the stand right now, y'all. Come on, kitty girl. Roll her over. Oh, like a roly-poly. Oh, he's doing the side move. He just really enjoys that job. Look at this. Well, thank you. Let's hear it for the Punisher. All right, I'm gonna pause this. We're gonna refresh. Oh wait, is he gonna lift her shirt up? Oh, he's just nibbling. Oh, hope she's not lactating. Okay, all right. We're gonna go back to the testimony because that's what we are here for. All right, we are back to the testimony. All right, why were you called the Punisher? Playing basketball on West 4th Street. Oh, really? I thought it would have been something you did with your Enos. The woman who called you, what time did she book you for? Midnight at Trump Tower, Central Park West. Strip tease for a small group of friends. When you got there, how did Miss Ventura appear? In a bathroom with nothing underneath and a wig. I was expecting a crowd, but there was no one else. She told me she and her husband wanted to create an experience, a scene with baby oil. So she was calling and doing the coordinating. Now I see this person below wrote, oh, she was the one doing the induction. Listen, one thing Diddy's not going to do is call a male hooker on the phone and coordinate his arrival. He doesn't coordinate his own breakfast. So I don't know why anyone think he would coordinate his own stripper scenario. It's very steady break over. Welcome back. I used to go make reviews. Until a dancer came to mail reviews. Okay. Until a dancer came to me and my friends' table one day, reeking of dirty draws, funk, and baby oil combo. Ooh, that'll do it. He's blackmailing the assistants and hooking them up to lie detectors, but y'all don't believe he was coercing Cassie. That man was a menace. Let me tell you something. Today, what I heard that blew my mind was how he gets mad at Cassie for dating Kid Cudi. Now, we're not even evaluating the fact that he's allegedly blown up Cudi's car, but he then blackmails her parents, and after he's whooped her tail, tells the parents, you got to give me $20,000. Your daughter owes it to me. I have to recoup losses because of Kid Cudi. Excuse me? And then they get a loan to give Diddy $20,000? I will hurt you first. I will go to the feds first. I will become an informant. Shit. Not me. I am too ignorant for that. Not this black girl. Not I, said the black girl. Not I. I wish would. All right. It says when she told me, talking about Cassie, she and her husband wanted to create a scene with baby oil. What did she hand you? $800. How was the room? Dimly lit, electric candles, bowls of water with bottles of baby oil in them. She told me not to acknowledge her husband, not to look at him when he came out. Did he come out? Yes. He was naked, but I could not see his face. It was like what a Muslim woman wears. You see only the eyes. He had a bottle of Astroglide. How did you recognize it? I use it, the purple top. Look, if you got to dress up like a Muslim lady to get your rocks off, you're probably doing too much. You're doing too much. Y'all, you don't also think it's weird, y'all, that he can only get off by himself? Effectively, by doing it himself is the only way that he can get off? Inshallah, not here. Not inshallah over here. No. This man is really over here. No. No. That is not, no. That's weird. You got to dress up like a Muslim lady to be able to do it. It's something's wrong with you, sir. You haven't realized that? I love how everybody like to pretend like it's normal, like it's not something wrong with him. It's something wrong with you. You're not okay, and we know it, and we're here to tell you we know it. It's not okay. No, it's weird. It's really, really weird. Hold on. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Hold on. Hit that subscribe. We're past the like phase. Hit that like, but hit that subscribe. This is, no, y'all. This is Diddy. Here go Diddy, y'all. Here go Diddy. Here go Diddy. Diddy with the Astro Glide. Yeah, look like the lady in the video. Just in the corner. Oh, yeah, this is Diddy's jail cell, in case you're wondering. I'm reporting live from there. Just Diddy, just sitting there with the jizz in the glide. Just looking. Just looking. It's weird. Just weird. That's how he dressed. If you got to dress up like a Muslim lady to get your rocks off, then what you're doing is strange. Just no words. More oil. More oil. More oil. Crazy. This man is nuts. Just a nut. Come on. We going back. We going back. He got to come down. Diddy got to come down. We going back. We going back. We're going to hit refresh. See what other nastiness he's up to till we go to lunch. This is a depraved motherfucker. All right. She told me she wanted to create a scene with him. What did she hand you? $800. She told me not to acknowledge her husband, not to look at him when he came out. Did he come out? Yeah. How did you, he recognized the Astro Glide because the purple top. Oh, hold on, y'all. I'm ready. Hold on. Wait. I got it, guys. I got it somewhere. Hold on. Oh, man. Hold on. Wait. Oh, man. Where did it go? Where's the robot? Where is it? Oh, man. I'm gonna find it. Okay. Hold on, guys. I know I have Astro Glide somewhere. I found it accidentally. It was an accident. Oh, I found it. I'm Diddy. All right, let's do that. I'm Diddy. Hold on. There you go. I had to find it. Because y'all, okay, I'm not weird. I have an Airbnb and people leave weird stuff. And I was like, what is this? Baby oil. And kid you not, I put it all on my legs. I was going to like brunch and I was ashy and I took it and I put all on my legs. And I was like, this isn't working. It felt sticky. That's why I know the purple lid. I know it. That's why there's all this in there because somebody left it at my Airbnb. Anyway, the Punisher is back on the stand. We're going to go back to the testimony and we'll do a reenactment in a little while. Yes, I do. Someone left this. They left this on the nightstand at my Airbnb and I thought it was baby oil. And so I put it in my purse and I was going to brunch and I was ashy and I put it on my legs, but it didn't feel right. I was like, this is weird. It feels strange. I was like, it's not really working. Yeah, it was really bad. Anyway, back to the Punisher. Ew, I don't like how this feels. Ugh. When you got there, how did she act? Okay, she told him she had on a wig. I was expecting a crowd and no one else. She told me her husband wanted to create the experience. Okay. How did it end? She went into the other room with him. When she came back, she asked if I wanted to finish. I said, no, if they were happy, I was happy. She gave me more money. Did you do it again? Yes. 8 or 12 times. Oh, other instances. Huh. I'm sorry. I thought you meant that day. Hold on. Did he come out? Yes. He was naked. Talking about Diddy. He was naked, but I could not see his face. It was what a Muslim woman wears. You see only the eyes. He had a bottle of Astroglide. How did you recognize it? I use it. The purple top. That's how I even knew that this is what it was. How did it end? She went into the other room with him. When she came back, she asked if I wanted to finish. How kind of her. I said, no, if they were happy, I was happy. She gave me more money. Did you do it again? Yes, 8 or 12 times. How did you end up recognizing her? I was a fan of Mr. Combs and I followed him on Instagram. I saw her on it. This would be a good place to take a break. You think? You think so? Yeah. So we got Diddy sitting in the corner, dressed like Molly the Muslim, butt naked with Astroglide. Okay. Sitting in the corner, hollering, more oil. Then, while she's getting rammed by the Punisher. Molly the Muslim, yeah. I don't know. Oh, no, it should be Mina. Mina the Muslim. That's better. Mina the Muslim. No one would believe this. I think that's probably also part of Cassie's problem. Is these things are so ridiculous that, like, if she told me this at brunch, I say, "Ho, is you lying? Ho, you lying? You lying?" But I would be laughing. Oh, I'd have a huge chuckle. I got all this baby oil on my screen, my computer screen. Y'all hit the subscribe. Seriously, anything left behind should go directly in the trash. Why would I keep it? I thought it was baby oil. And I was in a hurry. I don't know. Why did they mention? Good question. Earlier this morning, I think they mentioned him because the point was he was surrounded by powerful people. And that Diddy was always with powerful people. That was the connection. Trash, all that oil you found. Who knows what has been done with it? I didn't think of it that way. Because I wasn't thinking of it as lube. And now that I am, I want it off my desk. I was thinking of it as baby oil in the same way that I think of it as lotion. So like sometimes people will stay and they'll leave. If it's really good lotion, like black people lotion, like cocoa butter and stuff, I'm like, ooh, yes, the girls love some lotion. I'm not going to be ashy because I am one of the ashiest people you're ever going to meet. So I was thinking of it like, oh, God is helping me again because I'm one of his favorite sinners, which I am. And he's dropped off some lotion because I always forget to buy lotion. Like, consistently, I'm an ashy person. I always forget. I hope I wiped the bottle off before you touched it. I didn't know what it was. I thought it was baby oil. I thought it was lotion. I'm treating it like lotion. So if we can understand David James lying to Diddy. All right, let's see this. Simone, please come to Atlanta. Hold on, I missed that. I hate Atlanta, but I am going to come soon, but I want to see this. So if we can understand David James lying to Diddy, isn't it possible Cassie might have been lying in those loving or cordial text messages too to keep the peace and calm? I like that analysis. I think that's fair. Absolutely. I think that's fair. Oh, the Canadian said it is truly a takedown of Diddy. They let him do what he wanted, but not for how long he wanted to. That's the part Diddy didn't understand. When they were pimping Diddy also. All of them are sick. Okay. It says Diddy added a 10th lawyer. Seems like a bad sign. I don't know. Why the hell would he do that? I need to see who the lawyer is. If it's Mark Garagos, it might have just been formalizing what we already knew, which is that Mark Garagos is part of his team. Let's see. Who is Diddy's new lawyer? Like, dude. Now I see Xavier. Let me know if there's a name for him. No, I don't see another newbie. Let's see. We got Brian Still. Yeah, what I'm seeing is the black people. Xavier Donaldson and Nicole Westmoreland, but I don't see anything about any others. But let me know if you have a name. Drop it in the chat. He is, oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, Lydell, thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. Sister Let's Talk said the predicate acts. Yep, we got that one. John, Ronnie Jacks, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you, Ronnie. Child, this has been a lot. I was not emotionally prepared for all that this morning has put me through. And thank you again, Jenna. I appreciate you. This was a lot. Let me know in the chat, what has been the bombshell for you this morning? I'm going to start from the beginning. I feel like it was finding out David James had immunity and confirming he had a proffer. Let me clarify. A proffer is not immunity. A proffer is the step that you get before immunity, because before they give you immunity, they got to find out, well, what is it that you know that could be helpful? In his situation, they didn't have to give him. They probably didn't feel the need to give him immunity because they basically made him some type of promise that, like, hey, what you did for him is not what we're looking for. Like, we don't care. Because they don't care about low-level people. You can't get the big guy if you arrest all the low-level people. Think of like with the mob. A lot of times, for example, the mob will operate through a pizza place. Well, there may be some pizza workers who knew exactly what was going on but didn't say anything. But if you arrest or charge all the pizza workers, you're not going to find out about the meeting where they overheard such and such. So leave the freaking pizza workers alone. Oh, shoot. All right, there we go. Okay, I'll get rid of the bottle. It says the jury is still out on me. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, there's a lot of weird things about me. Dreamy Smile said, do you have books for Tilly's? I also have street smarts with respect to like dealing with people. Because I have to acknowledge part of why I had difficulty processing in Cassie's decisions, even for a 19-year-old, is because I was the same age. I was actually younger. I was 17 when I went to college, 18 at the end of my freshman year. And I'll never forget, we had a first round draft pick I went to University of Pittsburgh. We had a guy who was supposed to go first round. And like 2 weeks before the draft, he asked me to be his date to the draft. I mean, I was cute, but I wasn't that cute. And I was like, this shit is fishy. What the fuck? Why do you want me to be your date? When he had a girlfriend, at least for like the last 2 years or something. I was like, oh, this Negro ain't slick. He probably got caught doing something, maybe cheating on her or something. He wants me to make her jealous. So he's asked me to be the date for the most, important day of his college career, which was his draft. But at the time, I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. I thought I wanted to be an entertainment lawyer. So I was like, cool, I'll be your date. I'll come. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm not going to get used to this lifestyle. Like, he had a driver pick me up from class, take me to class. He was very generous. I remember before our first date, my best friend, Aisha, she was like, hey, so-and-so wants to go on a date with you. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Because I hadn't heard great things about him on campus. And she was like, girl, it was the end of the school year. She was like, girl, he will take you to eat wherever you want. I said, wherever? She said, wherever. I said, even Red Lobster? Because that was my favorite restaurant, baby. Red Lobster, I would put my church dress on and I would take the bus to Red Lobster and I eat there by myself because could nobody else afford it. I was on scholarship, so I put some money to the side. Anyway, I would go and she was like, even Red Lobster. So I let this boy take me to Red Lobster. Then we go to the draft and I quickly realized, I was like, I'm not going to get used to this lifestyle because then he's going to be a jerk. He was already a jerk to other people. Like I saw how he treated other people. And I realized like he's being nice to me because he's using me to make his girlfriend jealous. So I was like, cool, what do I want out of this? I was like, at the end of me dealing with him, I want free rides to campus. I want Red Lobster. I need to go to Walmart. I need a trip to Walmart. to buy some stuff. I needed, I needed some stuff for school. And I wanted to ask his lawyer all the questions I ever had about being an entertainment lawyer. I did all of those things. Sure enough, ultimately found out not only did he cheat on the girlfriend dumped him, but he also was trying to take my virginity because he thought that would be a fun thing to do. He'd never done that before. It didn't succeed. But I say this to say I at least had sense enough at that age to not think that like this person was really just falling in love with my mind, like get the hell out of here. At the same time, like I could never get with older guys. Like I think I was 18 and it was a guy who was like 24 wanted to date me. And I was like, what 24 or 25? I was like, what 25-year-old in their right mind would feel like we are on the same level? Like if you're on the same level as an 18-year-old, then maybe you're a dumbtard. Like something's wrong with you. You shouldn't be on my level. And second of all, you probably just want to control me, run me. And I have a daddy. So I was like, nah, get away from me. Thank you. You could be my punisher. No. 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 No, Bashir. No. But what we can do is while we're waiting for an upload, hold on, of an update, I would like to watch a little bit more of the RICO video of Sheree Hayes, our dancer of the day. Let's go back to our dancer and let's take a look at his skills. Let's revisit his skill set. Hold on, we're gonna put this back on up. Oh, let's give him a good look. Oh yeah. No, Bashir. It's not what we're gonna do. All right, this is wow. Talk about skill sets. This is the guy who just testified. Woo! Oh shoot, I almost spilled my water. He is the Punisher, and he still operates, y'all. I hope he charges a premium now. All right. Well, I don't want the men to go. I don't want y'all to go. Do I think the president will pardon him? Yes, I do. I do. I do. Let me fast forward this. I only like it when they do the tricks. Lift somebody in the air. Let me see what they pay $800+ for it. That is the question. No, we're not seeing it. It's not getting us there. It's not. All right, Punisher. All right. Well, okay. That was fine. We get the drift. It was decent looking though. Somebody said Cassie told mom about the 20,000 is proof that he asked. Good question. Oh, okay. Thank you, Peggy Sue, for the super chat. Peggy Sue was asking, is the mere fact that Cassie told her mother about the 20,000 proof that he asked? No, that isn't. But she's not saying that Cassie told her. She's saying that Sean asked me and that she got a loan and she paid Sean. So what is proof? Remember, people swear and so your question's a legitimate one. You swear under penalty of perjury. If she was just saying, hey, Cassie told me that Diddy wants 20K, she wouldn't even be allowed to say that. That would absolutely be hearsay. But Peggy Sue, what she's saying is Diddy asked me for 20 and I got a loan and gave him that 20. That's sufficient. And guess what? If the defense felt that it wasn't sufficient evidence, then they should have cross-examined her. See, they didn't. All the defense did was say, no further questions. No questions. Not even no further. They asked not nary question. Because they could have said, defense could have said, you don't have any records of paying this man 20,000, do you? But she does. See, you don't have to present it to the jury, present a receipt, so to speak, to the jury, unless the other side is disputing that it occurred. Because then it goes just like what we saw. Yes, Truthology said they backed away from her real quick, which is that That's a good question, Aisha A. I'm gonna answer it just, which is that if you get on the stand and you swear under oath something happened, if the other side's version is no, it didn't, or that's not true, then it's their job to challenge it, to force you to provide that proof, and they didn't do that. When will the defense put their case on? Great question, Reese. They're going to do it. They get the last 2 weeks. So the first 4 weeks are the prosecution. So now we're on week 2. And then the defense is going to have the last 2. So the defense are the last group that get to present. And then it's going to be the opening and the closing. Seemingly forgotten fact. Cassie tried to procure her best friend, Carrie Morgan, for Diddy's harem. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. She told Diddy in the beginning, I think Carrie is more your type. And he said, no, she's not. And that's how Carrie don't want nothing to do with that man. Yeah, the defense wanted that mama off the stand real quick, fast, in a hurry. They said, Ms. Ventura, go ahead. Go home, ma'am. Go ahead. Why did they pay, though? Cassie was already an adult. Her dads were not there because they didn't want their daughter to be beaten to death. They didn't want her to be whooped to death. Because remember, in the testimony she elicited, she talked about photos of him hurting her. So that's all it was. They just didn't want her to get whipped to death. Well, isn't that RICO? Oh, I'm going to agree, Nosy Rosa. Well, here's what that substantiates. With respect to RICO, it shows a criminal enterprise that is manhandling, strong arming, coercing. This shows the coercion. This shows the force. This shows, think of it this way. Myself included, everybody is like, where the hell is Cassie's family? Why she didn't go to her parents for refuge? Well, it sounds like when she did, he then extorts them. The reason I use the word extortion is she was already under a record deal. Let me be very clear. That money was not owed to Diddy for no reason. There was nothing to recoup when you, the record label, refused to release her albums. Guess how money is recouped in a music deal? Money is recouped from releasing music and the music selling and you touring and you earning revenues. Therefore, if you prevent your artist from doing that, you don't get to recoup a goddamn thing. So yes, that does substantiate RICO. They have not yet proven that Diddy has blown up Kid Cudi's car. I haven't seen anything related to that yet. Who do I think is winning so far today? I think today is a good day for the prosecution. I'll say because David James, Diddy's assistant that took the stand, his testimony I think was helpful to show really how menacing that Diddy was, especially the story of Diddy trying to set up the chef Jordan Atkinson, and trying to lie on her and try to get him to file a false police report, which is a crime, to effectuate things for him and the substances that he would have him obtain. Even the fact that I think it was an interesting day to find out that David James testified under immunity. And then the next witness was the mama. I think the mama really brought it home. I think for those who thought Cassie, I think it could have changed the mind of a juror who was on the fence to know that her parents got a loan. That was the kicker. That he lied and said, your daughter owes me money. Now, and think about this. When you already know your daughter is getting her butt beat, and the beater, who is her employer, now tells you, oh yeah, and by the way, your daughter owes me $20,000. You better pay up. Then you better pay up. That's why he wouldn't be breathing. We would just have to poison him. That's what it is. I'd have to poison Diddy. And I would go to the feds and I say, let me tell y'all something. Here's what's going to go down. Y'all are going to help me, or I am going to poison him and it will be self-defense. Which do you want? Because this man's got to go. Y'all just got this man, it's just melee. It's just melee everywhere. He's just running around unaliving people, doing this, that, and the third. It's a melee. Hit that subscribe button, y'all. Yeah, there's a difference between simple-minded and just plain stupid. I also think what I'm learning too is for some people, especially when you're dealing with trauma, substances, all those things, it's difficult to formulate a plan because a lot of times if you're depressed, like a lot of times depressed people, you could barely even brush your teeth, wash your face, clean your bottom. So I can't even imagine trying to come up with an escape plan from the most powerful man in the music industry. Prosecution hit a slam dunk today, Nana says. Diddy would have been taken in a ditch. Oh, they said Cassie better give a mama $5 million. I sure would. My parents wouldn't be working no more. Y'all are retired. Not going done. We're not gonna put the $5 million in their account because we don't want to knock them off Social Security or anything like that. But it's gonna be set up right. Y'all are not gonna want for no insure, vitamins or minerals. You're gonna have everything you need. Do I think they will summon? Oh, I know for a fact. Yes, Lorianne is testifying. Lorianne is testifying. Lorianne is going to shut it down. She's going to get them. But I also think they are likely going to cross-examine her strongly. Lorianne is going to speak to the criminal enterprise. Lorianne is going to speak to forced labor if they allow it. Because I do believe there was a lot of testimony they did not allow Dawn to share yesterday. Hit that subscribe button, y'all, as y'all come on in. Where's my phone? There was a lot of testimony that Dawn simply wasn't. Dawn, they didn't let Dawn talk about him locking her in the car. They didn't let him. They didn't let her testify to that. Hold on a second. Y'all, Magic City is trying to sue me, and I find it hilarious. The strip club, because I told women who have worked there in the last 3 years, if you have been asked to take your tips, to tip the bouncer, tip security, share tips with anybody other than other dancers, you can have a lawsuit and you can call my office. And so, and you still can. And so they mad, y'all, they big mad. That's how you know you're doing the Lord's work. When people who are trying to take advantage of others fear you. Allegedly. They're not really Magic City's not trying to take advantage of others. But people who take your tip money and split it with people under the law that they're not supposed to split it with, they're not supposed to do that. Here we go. Yes. Okay. All right. Do I think they will? Yeah, Lorianne is coming. Lorianne. Right. It's one word. Thank you. You can meet with them to go over their testimony prior. That is true. Let me see. Okay. Aries says she stole $20,000 from Diddy's petty cash safe to pay the male escort and Mr. Fine and one more unnamed male. She was living with Mr. Fine. Where did that? Was that elicited in her testimony? See, you were a bouncer and you got, yeah, that's illegal. That's actually illegal. Jazz, you're right. It is a standard practice, but it's unlawful. The reason why is you can't force tipped workers to split their tips if they are your employees. You can't with anyone that's not also performing the service of dancing. So what happens is strip clubs, they say, oh yeah, this is what you do. Because they analogize it to restaurants, but it's not the same. Now at a restaurant, waiters can be required to split it with busboys and the host because they're all working to serve the diner. But strip clubs, that's actually what admission is supposed to be for. And especially, you cannot take their tips at all if the strip club has them classified as employee. Yeah, who knew? They don't know either. But so that's why they're upset with me, because they thought they just had one lawsuit. And if more women reply, because it will be handled on contingency, you don't have to pay anything up front, then there's that. It says, Cassie should have snuck some of that FO money and slipped it to mama and daddy and paid it right back. Here's what I would have did. Baby, remember when he knocked Carrie upside the head? And Carrie got 30? No, I would have said, Diddy, we got to give her 50. We're going to give Carrie 30. We'll give mama and daddy they 20 back. But at the same time, when Diddy found that out, he would have whooped her into an inch of her life. She might not be with us no more. So it's easy to say what you would have done. We wouldn't have done nothing because I wouldn't have been in this situation. you are basically, makes sense. You're basically paying the bouncer and the DJ salary off your work. Right. And that's unfair. But they do it to women and they do it to those dancers because you're not a dancer because you made straight A's at Harvard, right? You're a dancer. It's generally a stepping stone to some other place you'd like to be in your life. And I just really hate when people misstate the law or they use the law to oppress people when instead it should be used to uplift them. It says, Cassie, why was Diddy demanding 20K? So let's put that back up. I feel like that was a bombshell from today. I'm still mad about it. I'm still mad about it. It didn't even happen to me. Hold on. We coming to it. Let's share the screen again. That was insane. I just can't believe her daddy let that be paid. I still. All right, here. He was dating my daughter. She said, this is the mama. She said Sean Combs threatened to release the S tape and go after her and Mr. Muscuddy, which is Kid Cudi. How did you react? It made me sick. Sean Combs demanded $20,000, he said, to recoup losses due to Kid Cudi from my husband and myself. Why did you take a loan to pay Sean Combs? For the safety of my daughter. Look at the binder next to you. These are the photos I took of my daughter's bruises from Sean Combs. They paid him because he blackmailed her, extorted her, and threatened to release X tapes if they didn't give him $20K. And it's not even, so I need to even re-speak. He was even, this is a prime example of RICO. He is pretending to use the music contract to blackmail her. Any questions? Any questions? I'm ready. He was pretending to use her music deal to blackmail her with the release of S tapes. Y'all, Cassie must not have that much black in her, because if she did, somebody could try to whoop him. Somebody need to whoop him. Somebody need to. So if her mom paid for her record contract advance, then she was working as a slave pretty much. Because again, if you're new to us, what I was explaining is the way an advance works is you get the advance and then they release your music. If they do not release your music, you don't have to pay the advance back. Why? Because you were never given the opportunity to do so. You can't front me $1 million and then tell me I owe you that $1 million back when I was ready, willing, and able to work. She made hundreds of songs and he released none. You don't get to say, and you really don't get to say, if she doesn't pay me this recoupable amount, I'm going to release S tapes of her. No. If somebody owes you some money, you go to court. You don't release S tapes of them. Yeah, he is gangster. He is gangster. Mom needs to take a bad parenting class. They took out a loan, a $20,000 loan. The way I told, if you're joining us now, I said the way my mama would have went up to the church house and talked to Father Tim. That was our white priest at our Black Catholic church in Oak Cliff, where I'm from. It's Black and Hispanic. The way she would have said, Father Tim, who do we have in the church that works for the FBI? And Father Tim would have gave her a name, because everybody know Father Tim and everybody love Father Tim. And my mom would have invited them to the house, made them some gumbo, because everybody at the church is either Creole or Nigerian. We all eat. She would have made them some gumbo. She would have made them some dinner. And she would have secretly told them what was going on and said, we need a strategy. And I would have been in hiding. I would have been in hiding the whole time. I would have been in hiding. And that man would have went to jail. He would have went to jail a long time ago. Yes. She should have, Leonard, yes. She should have called my daddy to whoop him. My daddy would do that. One time my homegirl was dating this Hope in Dallas. You can read my lips. Hope. You see what I'm saying? She was dating one of them, and he and his family, they're all terrible people, called off the wedding like 2 weeks before, because this was during the recession when the economy had crashed. They said that she had too much debt because she had student loans. And this Black family had the audacity to say they don't believe in student loans. They don't believe in debts for their children. They pay for their children to go to school. Listen, you stupid. I'm saying this to his mama. You stupid. First of all, my friend went to a top university that was like almost $40,000, $50,000 a year for 4 years, graduated, and had a total of $30,000 worth of debt, whatever. But they said she had too much debt. They called the wedding off 2 weeks before. My daddy threatened to go whoop his daddy. My dad was like, you want me to? I'll fight him. I'll fight his daddy and I'll fight him too. And I knew my father meant it. This was probably about 15 years, around 2008. My dad was going to fight him. And I thought, Daddy, oh my God, Daddy, that's so sweet of you. That is so sweet. Because when the wedding invitation came in the mail, the boy is named after his father. And when the invitation came in the mail, my dad loves this friend of mine. And he was like, she marrying so. Oh, hell no. He a whole ass nigga. And I was like, Daddy, why would you say that? He was like, because his daddy is a whole ass nigga. If your daddy a whole ass nigga, you a whole ass nigga too. And I was like, oh, well, that's one analysis. So that's that. 30K, that's it. Somebody said, I like your daddy. He got them hands. They don't call him Rocky for no reason. Yeah, they call him Rocky for a reason. But someone said 30K, that's it. 30K was what Morgan got, Carrie Morgan. And then I was saying, since the parents were owed 20, I was like, yeah, you should have told Diddy that Carrie needs 50. And then just printed that little document out, went off to Kinko's and rewrote that little document. But no, she would have got having educated. You know what? That's true. That's very, very true. My daddy, what is it? My daddy and your daddy could have been besties. My daddy was a state over in Louisiana. Oh, yeah. Yeah, my uncle's in Louisiana. My dad doesn't have a lot of friends. He doesn't like people, places, or things generally. But the few friends that he have are all my uncles from Louisiana and stuff. So I agree. Katie said, I think I love your dad. Yeah, my dad doesn't like people who are mean to kids or don't take care of his kids. So he don't have a lot of friends at work. He had this one Nigerian friend at work that my mom invited over it was like Christmas. Then my dad, after that, I was like, oh, Dad, it was so nice to see you have a friend. He's like, that nigga ain't my friend. I said, why isn't that your friend? He was like, why are you at my house on Christmas? You got 3 kids. Why are you not with your kids at Christmas? What type of father are you? I don't trust nobody. Don't take care of their kids. And I was like, duly noted. I don't know. Duly noted, Daddy. So what was the 30,000 was for Carrie, and that was to pay her that was to compensate her for getting knocked in the head. So let's do a refresh. Let's see if they're back. It's 1 if they're not back. Let's see. This should be back. 30 minutes ago. Okay, I think there's going to be about a 1 hour break. I need to take a potty break. I'm going to come back. Let's see. I'm going to come back in an hour. Yeah, give me an hour. I'm going to come back in an hour for sure. I need to take me a little potty break. I got to do my work. I got some clients to return calls to. So we're going to do that. I'll see you guys then. Let me know below any questions you have in the chat. It's going to be a new stream. So just come back to the page. Hit that subscribe. All right. It's your legal bestie, Attorney Simone, with more commentary this afternoon on day 7 of the Diddy trial.